Well, hello. Welcome in, everybody, to the Crowded Booth NFL Draft Watch Party. We did this last year, and we had a lot of fun with it. And so we figured, why not watch Will and I crash out when the Falcons inevitably just do something that doesn't make any sense? I don't know why that's doing that, Ralph. I'm sorry. Let's just stay with this. We're going to sit with you through the whole, I guess, 3+ hour spectacle. We've got myself, Bryce. We've got Ralph. We've got Will. And then we got this guy in the background on tonight's episode, live watch party of the Crowded Booth.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The Crowded Booth is coming on. The Crowded Booth with Bryce Koon.
All right, welcome in, everybody. My name is Bryce Koon alongside Will Manis and Ralph Leary. We appreciate you hanging out with us for the full course of the 2025 NFL Draft. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, Will, are you ready to get your feelings hurt again? I see this year, no Falcons hat.
No Falcons hat. That was bad luck last year.
It was bad. It was just interesting. John says the Falcons, or Brian Jones says the Falcons are drafting Josh Petty at 15. That would be on par. But hey, we've got the whole list down there
for you. From Adam Schefter.
The
hoodie under the suit jacket.
Still rocking the tie and the blazer though. I like it. But fellas, this is kind of an interesting draft. Tennessee is on the clock. It kind of feels like,
so excited.
Yeah, we're not that excited. The Titans are on the clock, and it kind of feels like this is something that's been known. We're expecting the Tennessee Titans to take Cam Ward. But before we kind of jump in to the analysis of the picks, our thoughts on some of the picks throughout this first round tonight, I do want to go back to Will here because, Will, you and I sat here, and I don't know if Ralph has the clip or if Gavin can go pull the clip up on last year's stream. But it was the quarterbacks that dominated round number 1 last year, and I would just say this, we weren't too fond of that pick. So, that being said, Will, a year later, how are you feeling about the Falcons taking Penix number 1? And how many times does Ralph have to say Penix throughout this broadcast?
I'll start with your second question. 0. He refuses to say it. I mean, I don't know. The Falcons just continue to show that they are a mess internally. Yeah. It's almost inevitable, it seems, at this point that they're a mess. Poor communication. I mean, it was immediate last year. I mean, Terry Fontenot was like having to explain himself to Arthur Blank. I just spent all this money on a quarterback. Why'd you draft a quarterback at number 8? So how do I feel about it? I don't know. I mean, I still feel kind of how I felt last year, that the Falcons are more than a quarterback away from being a serious Super Bowl contender. Mm-hmm. And they are still that way.
Yes. I agree with you. I believe that they are, and I believe that Ralph has our uncut, raw reaction to last year's pick of Michael Penix. Ralph, do the honors. If Dallas Turner doesn't work out, no one's going to be mad because it's like mad at the Falcons.
On 3 is saying the Falcons took Michael Penix.
Yeah, see, I knew the pick.
I'm not even lying to you. There's no way.
Do not.
No way. Oh, no.
Okay, also, Bryce, I know you love the NBA. The Magic are beating the Cavaliers by 40 right now in the fourth quarter.
We'll try to change the subject. Yes. Oh my.
No way they just took Michael Penix at number 8. There is no chance that they just wasted the number 8 pick.
For
the I know I said Malik Neighbors. I know that I said Malik Neighbors earlier.
Oh,
the inability for this team. Yeah, no, the Falcons. Look, the Falcons. All right, you can cut it off, Ralph. So it's that was the reaction last year. Obviously, the Falcons take Michael Penix, and something too. I think when you look at this and you kind of go back to it, yes, Will, we talked about, the whole Kirk Cousins saga, and one of the storylines this whole weekend is are the Falcons going to be able to trade Kirk Cousins? $27 million cap hit this year to essentially be a backup. They're going to roll with Penix. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Does Pittsburgh, and that's going to be a topic of conversation at 21, does Shedeur Sanders fall all the way down to them? How much does Mike Tomlin like Shedeur Sanders? That's going to be something that's really going to be interesting to kind of watch. If they don't get a quarterback, would they be interested? Minnesota was rumored to have some interest, but it feels like they're just going to ride with J.J. McCarthy and get a veteran backup and go with that. And then there was one other team interested, but I don't know. Kirk Cousins, just I don't know. Interesting stuff.
Who is doing comparisons for ESPN?
Did you just see that?
Comparing Cam Ward to Patrick Mahomes?
The only way that I can rationalize, first off, I want to say this, okay? When you're talking about the NFL draft, the comparisons, now more than ever, the NFL draft is based off potential. You're seeing guys who don't have as much production be taken earlier because of traits and because of, physical and mental ways they test, whether it's the combine or in these interviews. So that is that. Now, the thing about Cam Ward is that he is an improviser, which you watch some of it. Okay, I get it, but that's no matter what happens, you've got to win 4 Super Bowls at the very least now to live up to that comparison. I don't know how many Super Bowls that he has off the top of his head, or off the top of my head. I don't know. So,
I think that's just lazy. Oh, look, he can throw off balance.
Yeah,
cool.
It's just crazy.
We have a question. Who's the number 1 quarterback in the draft? Will's got a different one than everybody else does.
So who do y'all have?
It's Cam Ward easily, but Will's is Tyler Shutt.
No, it's Jaxson Dart. But I think, I've listened to some podcasts, obviously people that know more than me. I think Tyler Shook might go tonight in the first round. I really do think that, for the reasons you said, right? He has the traits. He's, he may have only had one good year in college, but he was with the Braun brothers at Louisville that really know how to coach quarterbacks. He's got the arm. He's tough. He's really mobile. He's the second fastest quarterback in the draft behind Jalen Milroe. He's got the traits, and he's got a lot of teams that like him across the league, and I think he'll go in this first round.
Cam Ward does go number 1 overall. Look, we got to see Shuck out in Mobile at the Senior Bowl. Performed really well. Got a good interview with him out there as well. You can check that out. But I want to talk, and I think there are things like he could project well if in the right system as it is as well there. But Cam Ward goes to the Titans. Let's talk a little bit about this, fellas. Ralph, I'll start with you. I was reading some comments, and I know my friend Logan Whaley, he's a big Titans fan. He wanted to see this because a lot of Titans fans are tired of watching Will Levis play quarterback there. So that's you. Wait, real quick before we go into this.
That is psycho behavior.
Cleveland just traded the number 2 pick to Jacksonville. So the Jaguars have now acquired the 2nd pick.
Good for Cleveland.
Wait.
Great move for Cleveland.
Are they taking Travis Hunter at 2?
They're going to take Hunter here. They're going to take Travis Hunter here.
There was talk that they really like Genty, or
if they take Ashton Genty
if they take Genty at 2, that's wild. That is absolutely wild.
That would be wild.
Anyways, let's bring in our draft analyst here, senior NFL draft analyst, to talk about this pick.
No,
ain't nothing senior about it.
He's celebrating. I don't like that. I don't like
that.
Oh my gosh!
It is more.
I'm so happy to be here, man.
He's not even on the camera. What? Get him on the screen. What are we doing?
Wait, what the heck? Oh my gosh!
All right, Mort. Thoughts on Cam Ward, number 1, and then also number 2 pick going to Jacksonville.
So I think there was a report minutes before broadcast started from Schefter that said some business was about to go down at number 2. There's kind of a whisper all day. They were going to trade it. Who knows to who? I didn't think it would be Jacksonville. I think the Cam Ward pick feels obvious. I like the kid. I think his ceiling's super high, obviously. The more that I watched, the more that I heard and read, the more I liked him actually for number 1 overall. I think he makes sense for what the team needs. I don't know what's going to happen at number 2. Number 1, I mean, it just felt like a shoe, and it just felt like it made the most sense, especially with Shedeur not panning out, and a lot of people kind of trashing him really close to the draft. The Shedeur, the Shedeur rumors to the Steelers at
21.
Yeah, 21 is kind of interesting. Bro has a Braun here, like, dude, chill, Brian.
Well, Sam, real quick, let me read you the haul. Okay, so here's the official
Yeah.
trade that's gone through. The Browns have received the 5th pick, the 36th pick, the 126th pick, and a 2026 first round pick. So they got a first, a second, a fourth this year, and then the Jags first round pick next year to move up 3 spots. Now, the Browns did give up a second overall pick, a 4th round pick, and a 6th round pick. So it's essentially a 4th round swap. You're losing 22 spots there, and then you do get a 6th round pick as well. But honestly, I don't know how we project Jacksonville to do next year. I think the Browns, this is a pretty good move. They've got to overhaul some things. You get that kind of haul, and if you can still get whoever you want at 5, I don't mind that.
I see the AFC South as a really open division, and I think you just look at the talent on the rosters of those teams. I think it's Houston, and then Jacksonville's number 2. But Houston, playoff team, obviously, but I think Jacksonville talent-wise is right there with them. So this is a big move for them to get up to number 2 to go and get an impact player.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I think it should be wide receiver for them, but 2 would be too high. Listen to Todd McShay.
Unless it's Julio Jones 2.0.
Todd McShay this week was talking about Jacksonville and what they might do at 5, but obviously now they're at 2. And talked about Trevor Lawrence. When he was at Clemson, he had big 6'3", 6'4" receivers. He has not had that at Jacksonville, and he thinks that there's some talk that, potentially that's the reason why his accuracy in the NFL is down from where it was in college, as prolific as he was. Todd McShay like Tet McMillan to Jacksonville. If they trade up to 2 to take Tet McMillan, that's wild.
I don't think he's
malpractice.
I think you could have got him at 5, to be honest.
You could, for sure.
I think you could have got him at 10.
I mean,
you trade back if you wanted to.
You can trade back for Tet, but I think, the real question is do they trade up, get Hunter at 2 because they think someone's going to take him at 3 or 4, and then you say, Travis Hunter, the talk.
2.
Yeah, so they're going to play him both ways. They're going to play him both ways. And he said, he was very open. He's like, whatever org I get drafted to, I'm expecting to play both ways. If I'm not playing both ways, I'm not playing football, was what he said in an interview. Now, whether that's true or not, when you've millions thrown in your face, you can make that assumption. But, this one makes the most sense. They have a need at corner, and they also have a need at receiver. So if he is able to play both ways, they're not worried about the mileage on his legs and the wear and tear of playing 2 very now physical positions in the NFL. I know you can harp on they're soft or whatever. Both of these positions are extremely physical in the NFL, and you're not gonna really see much change for him. So he's probably gonna play both ways. They probably traded up with the intent of him playing receiver and corner, and that is how they're gonna do it.
This will be since I don't know how he's going to do it in the NFL this season, in this age. I just don't see him. Obviously college is different, where he was playing, a lot of guys who had, tests during the week, and now he's going to the NFL where these guys doing professionally, and they hit harder, they play faster. We've always joked that like some of these really good college teams could go and play the bottom tier NFL teams and beat them. Sometimes we always joke about that. Just not realistic. A lot of these NFL teams are just too good, and they're gonna hit. Travis Hunter's gonna get hit a lot harder in NFL than he did in college. Yeah, he's not a very big guy. I just don't know if that's going to be if the ability for him to go both ways all year long is going to be able to hold up, especially for 17 games.
I would say he's probably about 10 pounds off from where he needs to be to play both ways effectively. He's 188. He's thin. He is thin.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to put on some pounds play at that 198, 195 area to be, I would say, to really be able to keep up. But at the end of the day, there's an injury concern with this kid. I get that he hasn't been injured at like ever that we know of, but I mean, you're also looking at he's 188. He's playing both ways. He's tackling and he's also being tackled. I mean, his body is taking a beating week to week, and they're not. And this is the NFL. They're not going to baby him and say, "Oh, you're not running today. You're just going to be on the jugs." Like they're going to have this dude at all times going. But we'll see. I mean, this is this is really crazy to say. I mean,
So real quick, they've got Eric Armstead talking. He was Walter Payton Man of the Year. This interesting. Schefter tweets this out. I didn't know this. James Gladstone, the youngest NFL GM, and came out swinging on his first trade. So look, I mean, trying to make a statement,
100%.
like you said, Will, in a division where if you make the right moves, you could find yourself at the top of the division next year. So here we go.
In a very weak division, by the way. Also,
that's true.
that's Travis Hunter.
Weak division. I mean,
Wow.
you talk about the ceiling. Weak. I don't know if weak's the word I would use. I think Houston. I mean, Houston, Jacksonville. We could look at the end of the year, and they both have double-digit wins. I mean, they'll obviously feast on Indianapolis and
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I think Tennessee has more building to do. You got your quarterback, but
For
you got to
sure.
figure out.
You need a lot. You need a lot of help. You tackled last year with J.C. Latham. But you need some help receiver wise. They took what's his name from Arkansas?
Lockett. Traylon Burks.
Yeah, Traylon Burks was an absolute bust. He was a bust. I was high on him too because I thought he was one of the best receivers in the draft, and he really just faded out. I don't know what happened with him. It could have been poor quarterback play, but sometimes you watch a guy play, he'll realize he's not nearly as good as he thought he was. But
so Travis Hunter, number 2.
Giants run the clock.
You can really kind of go wherever you want with this. I know you were talking about it a little second ago, Sam, but I mean, look, Hunter goes number 2. You've got a playmaker, right? And now you got to figure out how he fits and what you want to do. And if you're Liam Cohen, I mean, I think that's going to be, if you're a Jags fan or not, like you're kind of in a situation where it's like, okay, you're probably going to be one of the most watched teams in the league this year, regardless of your record, because now you have one of the more dynamic players figuring out what to do with them and how to best utilize them to get his strengths. Because regardless of the height, the kid's good. He's a good football player, and you just got to figure out how to utilize him.
I think he could an all-pro corner. I think as far as receiver goes, he would probably average. I mean, he's obviously a great talent, but we talk about his size. I can't really see him playing on the outside. You worry about the hits he takes at receiver. Obviously, delivering the hits is easier for most people, easier on your body than receiving those hits. And he's going to receive a lot of hits, and especially you saw that entrance, and you've heard him talk. Guys are going to be hunting him. If they can hit him, they're going to hit him. I mean, they're going to try to welcome him to the league strongly.
He's a talker, but he does back his game up. I'll give him that. He does play.
He does
100 miles an hour. He has a lot of love for the game. You really see it in his emotions and how he plays. I think he does put it all out there. I don't think he really takes plays off. I know that's kind of a joke to say when the guy played 180 snaps a game. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with their idea of what to do with him.
Something that's really interesting. I was just decided. I was like trying to find a player that Liam Cohen has had as dynamic as Travis Hunter. And truth be told, he had some dynamic pieces when he was at the Rams with Todd Gurley, but this isn't a Todd Gurley type guy. But you look at his Kentucky days, and he kind of did have some pieces there that he knows how to work around. I'm trying to remember this. I want to say it's Dane Key. Dane Key might have been.
Key, the receiver.
Yeah. He might have been maybe the most versatile player on those Kentucky teams, and I'm not even 100% sure he played for Liam Cohen.
Yeah.
When he was at Tampa Bay, I
And he
think
had
that,
what 7 stints at Kentucky?
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like it's really confusing for me to try and pull that. But when he was last year at Tampa Bay, I guess you go and look at that Tampa Bay roster. I mean, they were riddled with injuries at receiver. They were getting, bullied. But they definitely had some. Hold on, let me see if I can go back and find their roster. They definitely had some pieces at wide receiver that season, but nothing kind of insane or as dynamic. I feel like Mike Evans is dynamic. Do not get me wrong, but not. It's a completely different ball game. If you're gonna, Mike Evans is a Tet. If we're gonna make a comparison,
Mm-hmm.
I have information on the third pick.
Okay. Oh,
Bill Carter.
Abdul
Yo.
Carter. I think that is a solid pick.
That is the pick to make. If you,
I don't think
Their
I
front
know that-
seven's nasty now.
yeah.
I gotta say this though about the Giants because a lot of people are gonna be mad they didn't go quarterback. I don't think they need to go quarterback like this early. I don't think that it was necessary for them. Their defense is missing one option, and they got him. You got the best defensive player, I think, in the draft. I think Abdul Carter probably could have gone anywhere in the draft at 1, 2, or 3, and wouldn't have shocked me. His stellar play last year, especially in the playoffs, was insane. He's just a guy. He's a go-getter. He plays defense very well, and I think they just added another option to this defense that's going to make it more elite. And that defense, front seven's gotten really good.
Yeah, I was reading something today. I mean, you kind of look at what they have. They've got a nice 3-tech. They can play really, really well. And then I think with Carter, you have so much versatility to where you can put him. I mean, you can stand him up, you can walk him down, you can
Put him out
you can just do a lot. Like he's that versatile.
Let him just be a force out there. He's a baller, man. He really is. I know I feel like we said it a lot, but I mean the guy plays really well. He's a smart player, and he falls in line with what 3 now in line that have worn number 11 at Penn State to be first round picks. I think that's right.
Yeah. New York also. I mean, I get it. These two guys I'm about to name, they have their issue. But they did sign two quarterbacks this offseason. Russell Wilson keeps getting chances in the NFL. I have my feelings on him as a Broncos fan.
I think it's best if we don't get into that.
We ain't gonna get into that. Where Knicks is the fix, as the people say, but they also have Jameis Winston, who has who proved himself a little bit last year at the Browns at points, but God still does need to deliver him from the interceptions. As he said,
season, baby.
But they do have two guys that I think they believe in and that they want to buy in on, at least for now. Probably looking at next year if they have the number 1 overall pick going with Arch, if he is as advertised.
No, dude, it's going to be Malachi Nelson. Did you see that list of the next quarterback call? They could be elite. They had Malachi Nelson as one of like the top 9 quarterbacks. I'm like, the guy hasn't played, has he? Like, I don't think
the
he's
UTEP minor.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, it's like what are we doing here? I don't know. I love Abdul Carter. He feasted on just teams all year, and I think he's a guy that plays physical. One thing I was reading about him is that he's not. So one thing you're going to see, I think, and we're going to hopefully, Sam, we're going to get to talk about. You're a Tennessee fan too. We'll see where your guy, what is it, JPJ, James Pierce Jr. Is going to go. I don't think Carter has the bend or the speed around the edge that those guys have, but I think he has really, really good speed, and then kind of puts into that as well with his ability to make some plays in coverage. Like he's not a complete liability if he has to drop out to the flat or has to kind of cover the middle of the field. He's versatile in that way. And so when you got a guy like that, we know how big home wreckers, and look, we're Falcons fans, me and Will are, and so we know the lack of having a guy like that, what it can do to your team. Having that guy really helps. So interesting.
Yeah, I think
any final thoughts?
No.
I think I had Abdul Carter, second best player in the draft, behind Travis Hunter.
I think he's the best. He's definitely he's first or second best athlete in this draft, without a doubt.
Yes, ESPN flashed a number up there. He led all of FBS in tackles for loss last year, 23.5. That is insane. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Just added to that great defense that the Giants are going to have next year. Where does New England go with 3? Or with 4 now?
At 4, I think they're going. I think this is Will Campbell. I think New England's offensive
his
line
arms
is
are too short.
so bad. Dude, yeah, his arms are too short. God, that is still the funniest clip in that press conference. I wish I'd asked
Have y'all
that
seen
question.
the picture that people have made of him with tiny arms?
Those baby hands?
Yeah, the baby hands.
Now, a lot of people, and I'm going to butcher the kid's name. They've got Campbell as kind of one of the top offensive linemen. Then what's the other kid's name? I'm going to completely butcher it. Yeah. They've got kind of him. A lot of people have him. Yeah, they've got them kind of similar. To me, though, with Will Campbell, I've watched him for 2 years in person. The thing about him is even if you have to slide him into guard, he's a guy that, to me, his floor is a just consistent guy that's going to be on your offensive line for up to 10 years. Like, he's a guy that'll play 8-10 years, and he's going to be an every-year Pro Bowler. I don't know, but I think that if you're New England, they want to roll with Drake May, you got to protect him. Like, you have to protect him and be able to do that. So I would go Campbell here if I'm New England. They need a lot of help.
I agree. And full transparency, and Auburn even played Missouri this year. I think I've never heard the name Armand Membu.
That's wild. No, I'm just kidding. You kind of look at what their roster is. I mean, look, they've got Stephon Diggs, Kayshawn Boutte, Mac Hollins. They bring over. I mean, Kendrick Bourne.
So Kayshawn Boutte's on the trade block.
He's on something, that's for sure. He's interesting. So Matt says, why not Jaxson Dart to New England? I don't know what I'm talking about. If Jaxson Dart went to New England, that would be along the lines that would
Drake
be.
May.
That's Michael Penix. That's Michael Penix after you just got Kirk Cousins.
You know what's interesting though? I want to say this about the Penix thing. We were talking about this before you hopped in, Sam.
Yeah.
In hindsight, it looks good.
Oh, yeah.
At the time, it was not good, like at all. But in hindsight, you're kind of glad you did it. But I don't want people to think. A lot of talking heads, like, well, yeah, now you know why it made sense. No, it didn't make sense. You just kind of you're in a predicament now where you have to go there, and it's nice to not have to pick a quarterback at 15. Because God, could you imagine if the Falcons were forced to pick a quarterback at 15?
Kyle
McCord in Atlanta.
Tyler Shaw,
Will Howard.
Falcons
Shedeur
would have been
Sanders.
trading up.
Jalen Milroe.
With what picks?
With what picks?
So
Milroe being in Atlanta, dude. What do you mean?
God.
I mean, I will say this: not hearing Mimbu's name a lot is kind of a good thing. The best offensive lineman, you don't hear their name. You don't hear their name.
True. Especially those offensive guards from like your Boston colleges, your
Northwestern,
your Princetons,
your Princetons.
Guys,
Yeah.
the guys the Falcons absolutely just take every single year with like
the Minnesotas, the Central Michigans.
God.
I texted one of my friends today. They were like, "Man, we just need to get an edge." I was like, "You're gonna get a wide receiver, and you're gonna be happy about it."
Yeah, they'll take Matthew Golden at 15.
Yeah, they'll take Matthew Golden at 15. So let's see.
That just gave me.
I'm looking over the roster of New England, and it's just not. I mean, it's not looking like. They have names for sure, but at the same time, you got Stephon Diggs, old. Kayshawn Boutte, kind of unproven.
Head case.
Yeah, and then, I mean, at running back,
Ramondre
Stevenson's, who will 1 week go off 125, 2 touchdowns. Next week, it's 3 fumbles and 27 yards. So it's one of those cases where if they took G&T, I don't think it's a bad pick. I think it's interesting, but it's definitely not the pick that you're expecting.
I'm gonna say
I think it's Will Campbell. I don't know. I think you go with the most reliable pick.
You put him at left tackle there over Vidarian Lowe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you have to slide him in the guard, you do that early.
I
Yeah,
think you
or
watched the interview after when Jaden Daniels got drafted in. I think it's that spring camp or something he was doing. He was talking about, I just protect my quarterback no matter who it is. I think, that's just something that I always do. You can ask Jaden Daniels, you can ask Garrett Nussmeier. I protect my quarterback. I stand by them no matter who it is and what they do. So if you're New England, you go get the guy that can protect your quarterback and will always protect your quarterback. I think, and he's played some of the best talent in the country for the last 3 years.
So Goodell announcing the Patriots pick. Will Campbell, indeed.
Bang.
I mean, we kind of talked about it. This just feels like taking a guy that you feel like has a pretty high floor. I don't know what the ceiling is.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a 10-year Pro Bowl guy, but I think at the very least,
you could be getting a 10-year Pro Bowler. That's the thing.
Yeah, and also too, I mean, with as you see, nice. I like the fit there for Will Campbell.
All green with white shoes, man.
All I can see is short arms and small hands. That's all I can see.
Dude,
I mean-
that was the funniest thing in the world when he sat there and said, I mean, literally said, no one said anything my entire career, and then when I start doing this, it's a problem.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's very athletic. Not a massive
It's cool
guy.
when they do it. It's a problem when I do
320 really well.
If anything, he can go to the right tackle and have Morgan Moses at left. If you were to slide him inside, I mean, there's an All-Pro now retired guard who was drafted as a tackle with Zach Martin. Not saying that's his ceiling, but definitely saying the transition has been made, and a lot of guys who fail at tackle typically make the transition and excel. Trey Smith excelled. And Zach Martin 100% excelled. So Trey
Smith, he fell in the draft.
Yeah, he
was supposed to be top 10 pick and went what, 20th?
No, he fell out of the first round because there were some health concerns. He had some blood clotting issues when he was at Tennessee. So, and that just led to him being a little, everyone was kind of like, oh, I don't know if he's going to play, and so he fell to the sixth round.
So I will say this about Campbell before we got to talk about Cleveland at 5. The one thing that concerns me, and maybe it's not as much of an issue in the NFL, I don't know, but LSU, I mean, you're going to see LSU is going to have 4 offensive linemen drafted this weekend in terms of what they had. 3, but I think they might get 4 depending on who wants them in the 6th, 7th round. That being said, couldn't run the ball. This is not Will Campbell's not a mauler. He's very athletic. He's got good footwork. Attacks well against edges. You kind of go back to that Ole Miss game. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the kid's name. Yeah, Jared Ivey would play against him. Princely, whatever. Princely U is what I called him when we did our analysis of that game. And those are 2 guys that you feel like are top 75 picks in Ivy and Prince U. So I mean, you go back to that game. His time, when he faced Dallas Turner and a couple other ones as well. It'll be interesting to see what they do, but I think altogether it'll be interesting to see kind of where Campbell lies in high floor.
I'll say this, and this goes to the defensive side for New England. It's a pretty stout secondary going into this year. Kyle Duggar, Carlton Davis, Jabril Peppers, Christian Gonzalez, and Marcus Jones. I think it's pretty solid secondary for them. You got a guy who's a former All-Pro. Jabril Peppers has always been a playmaker for them. Christian Gonzalez has the ability to be a good player. Marcus Jones is more of a special teams guy, and the secondary is solid for them. I think taking Will Campbell was the right idea.
Don't worry, Austin. Don't worry.
Austin says I'm holding a Dart top 10 ticket for plus 250.
Don't worry.
Jeez.
Falcons taking a wide receiver.
Oh boy.
You'll see Bryce freak out.
Bryce will have a crash out similar to mine.
It's just
we can't.
I mean, they can't do it again, right? Like, I mean,
Bryce, very well they can do it again.
But why would you? There's good. Sam, I don't know how much you've looked at this. I know you're more of an NFL. You like the NFL and everything. I have repeatedly told these guys, I think there is great value in between picks 30 and 50. Like, I think there's some really, really good to where the drop off from I mean, let's just be real. Like, if you're sitting in 20 range and you want to take Pierce out of Tennessee, you miss on him, take Shamar Stewart. Like, I mean, there's really good value kind of in that range. And in the cornerback position, Maxwell Hairston, I like him a lot out of Kentucky. If he kind of falls into that late first, early second, that's why I have been standing on the stool, or standing on the table, I should say, of I want the Falcons
On business?
to trade back.
I
Yes.
knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
You'll lose your analyst. You'll lose me. You'll lose me. No, you're right, Bryce. And honestly, the value comes from this. So, and I talk about it a lot with people when they talk to me about the draft. Is I'm saying, when you're saying, oh, I would take, for instance, I'll use the Browns as an example. Browns need a receiver, and they go out and they get T-Mac. You're saying that Tedero McMillan is worth the amount of money that's typically associated with a 5th round pick. And so when you say this and you circle that number, that's how much you're saying this kid's worth off rip. Whereas, as you go down the draft, it's not like the MLB where there is a direct, slot, like slot amount. I think that's what it is in the MLB draft. Correct me if I'm wrong. 2 picks, 1 through 10. It's just not as, if you attribute a amount to these kids, you need to be attributing, you need to consider, is this kid worth that? Like, and when I draft Penix and he sits out his first year, was he worth that?
Yeah.
That amount of money that I just threw at him.
Browns take Mason Graham, which a lot of
that's
people
so
had
nice.
mocked to Jacksonville. So that's
I think it's a good pick.
that's weird to me.
I think they had a better fit. I think you can find a better fit.
I don't
just
love
do.
it. I don't love it, but thinking about who's there, who's available, he's the best player available. I mean, but defense, to me, they already have a great defense. I mean, obviously it's going to help Myles Garrett having having a Mason Graham on the defensive line. Looking at their defense, I think another corner, if they could find an impact corner. Question is, are you going to reach for a corner at 5 if you're Cleveland? Or are you going to reach even further and take a wide receiver, which I really think they need on offense as a wide receiver, to pair with Jerry Jeudy? It's an interesting pick, but he's the best player available, and you can't go wrong taking the best player available.
Here's something interesting, and I know the person in the background is a fan of this. Schefter tweeted, Carolina has been fielding calls about trading the number 8 pick. So obviously we're sitting here now. The Raiders are on the clock. Genty could be in play here, fellas.
Or
McMillan.
Would be crazy.
They have running back. They have Zamir White right now.
Hold on, I can get that information
I
for
feel
you.
like that's like he's the best running back there.
This the Raiders we're talking about?
Yeah.
Raiders running back is right now Raheem Mostert, Sincere McCormick, and then the third running back on their depth chart is Zamir White. So getting a running mate with Raheem Mostert, because he's definitely a guy that you put on a pitch count, you're saying if Raheem Mostert's going to finish the regular season, he can't get more than X amount of carries if he's going to finish the regular season healthy. So getting him a running mate. Now, do I think like Genty would be the ideal running mate for him? They seem like a similar back, and you might want to change a pace there and just wait, because Scatabo is getting 2nd round grades. You wait, you get the bowling ball, is my thought.
Do you wait and take an Ohio State running back at 2?
Quinchon?
Chip Kelly,
Or
the
Henderson.
offensive coordinator in Las Vegas now.
But
Could you go
also,
offensive line here?
also too with Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll had Marshawn Lynch. And I think part of what Pete Carroll likes to do is having a physical back and having that bruiser. And Genty fits the mold. And not only that, a powerful back and alleviates. I will say this, to your point about Mostert and everything where there, Sam, it does alleviate pressure off of whoever their quarterback is going to be. You've not putting it squarely on QB1 shoulders to go out there and make plays for you. You do have that. And obviously Brock Bowers is who Brock Bowers is. So if they, and it looks like it probably will be Gentry here. If that's who it is, then I don't mind. I don't mind the pick. But look, you're going to get crucified for a position that a lot of people don't value this early. But I guess you got to do what's best for the team. It's worked out for the Falcons. They took Bijan at 7 2 years ago, and I mean, one of the more electric players in the NFC. So I don't hate
he's
that.
succeeded, and I think if you take Gentry here, he'll succeed. I mean, the dude, you go back to that playoff game against Penn State, a stellar defense, still ran over 100 yards. But you saw how hard he fought and how he could break tackles. The dude's he's a beast. He's got one of the best moves, one of the best juke moves out there. I think one of the best first steps, and the guy plays so nonchalant in the backfield. He just stands straight up, and then next thing you know, he's 5 or 6 yards into the linebackers going, taking a cut inside and going 60 yards downfield. I mean, the dude, was the best running back this past year. I think in my eyes, and I think a lot of people's eyes, that he was the Heisman Trophy winner last year.
He won the fan vote.
Yeah, he won the fan vote. I don't think and right there it says they took Gentry. I think that's a solid pick. I really do. I don't think you can go on either way. I don't think you can do better than Gentry right now.
Yeah, I'm not one to typically grade a pick. Like first reaction, I like to wait, see how they do. Give them the metric used to be 18 games. You give a kid 18 games and then you decide. I'm sure that's changed now with the way the schedule's changed to 17 and things like that. So it's probably closer to 24, like as seasons have grown on and whatnot. But I mean, giving Geno Smith, this guy, is definitely a load off his shoulders. I mean, I'm assuming Geno would start over Aiden O'Connell.
Better hope he does.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, that would not be fun to watch that next year.
I would not watch that.
Bears fan to watch it either.
I think giving him the help at running back with Gentry is going to take it to the next level in terms of production out of the backfield, but also giving you someone who's going to be like a weapon, a versatile weapon for Chip Kelly to use, almost like he'd used Quinshawn and Trevion last year.
Yeah. I mean, you go get the best running back in the draft, you're going to utilize him next year. I don't think this guy ran for how many carries did he have last year? 260.
Hold on. He had 374 carries for 2,600 yards, 29 touchdowns. He also did not rush for under 100 yards on the season. His lowest total was against UNLV, and he rushed for 128.
Yeah, and there's like 4 of those games where we had like 10 carries.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude was an absolute freak last year. He would have broke Barry Sanders' record if he had those games where he ran 20 plus times. Like Portland State, he had like 11 or 13 carries in that game, and ran for like 150 and had 3 touchdowns. Like, yeah, I don't have to play the second half. I ran the ball very well the first half. We're up by 40. We're good. I can go sit down on the bench. Like, he had a great year in it started off with that first game of the season, and this guy, I just think he's just a solid player. I like Gentry. I liked him during the season last year, and I think please tell me that's not who they're comparing him to. Oh, they're talking about his yards. Okay, thank you.
Who are they comparing him to?
I thought they were comparing to Barry Sanders for a second.
Well,
I really did.
He almost broke the record.
Oh boy.
If he would have broken the record, everyone would have been the comparison would have been on. Even the fact that he got close. I think the funniest thing that I saw was the comparison this past week that said ceiling, Barry Sanders, floor, LaDainian Tomlinson. I was like,
so Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. Yeah.
Sam,
What you call a fanalist?
Seen it.
Have I not seen what?
You haven't seen the group chat. They are dragging the Raiders for this pick. I don't understand it. I think he's best available. I mean, looking at the Raiders,
common ball knows.
So
looking at the Raiders roster, I could see offensive line. what's the guy who I just learned existed, Armand Mimbu, 6'3". I mean, kind of projects more as a guard. I feel like they need a guard. He's very athletic. Obviously has some downsides there. That's probably why they didn't draft him. Defensive side, I could see him taking a corner, maybe going a little early on a guy who I really like, Jade Barron, from Texas. Maybe a touch early. But again, I think I said this last year. You know, people are gonna say what they want about value of picks or whatever. If you pick the right guy, it's the right pick. It doesn't matter what number you pick him at.
It don't
It
matter.
does not matter if he's the right guy. So, you know,
I think
do
that
I think the Raiders, just to finish real quick, I think the Raiders for their roster could have done better, but we're talking about Genty, and you know, we kind of laughed about the thing you read about his ceiling and floor. He's a really, really good player. His production at Boise State, there's really no concerns that he won't be able to produce in the NFL, or at least he won't be hampered by injury or little nagging stuff that'll keep him out. So I think whoever took Genty was going to make a really great pick. I just think the Raiders, they have more holes. Maybe you don't go running back at 6 when you have a number of holes like the Raiders have.
Yeah. Real quick, got a lot of people watching. Make sure you like, subscribe. If you're watching over on X, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are. Make sure you hang out with us for the totality of this episode, where it's really going to start taking off here, because we're going to start to get into teams, not that we necessarily just more care about, but the NFC South that's coming up.
rivals.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
real quick, the Giants picking up Thibodeau's 5th-year option, putting him opposite Abdul. That is
Just
going to be a
And
crazy.
then you got
combo.
Dexter Lawrence right in the middle.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's really smart. I think, you know, let's take a step back, look bigger picture at the Giants. It's been a lot of talk that GM Joe Schoen, head coach Brian Daboll, this is going to be it for them, you know.
Yep.
But I think in this first round, they've done a really good job of not being reactionary, not reaching for a quarterback. Obviously, they went out and got 2 guys that can play the position. You know, obviously, I think Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston are going to limit what you can do, but you have such a good defense already. Best player available is Abdul Carter. When you pick up Thibodeau's option, that defensive line is going to be really, really good. They're really good on defense already. You're just, I mean, I think with a defense that good, if you can score 21, 24, 25 points in their division, I know the Eagles are really good. The Eagles are probably going to run away with it, but we're maybe talking about a wild card team and they sneaking into the playoffs because they can win 8 or 9 games. The Commanders really good as well, but when you have a defense that good, it gives you a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this. The Falcons will take too long to draft and lose their draft pick. Look at
So that has actually happened in draft history. The Vikings fumbled a pick.
They did it twice.
They did it twice. Yeah, this Raiders pick is okay. This Raiders pick is kind of it. The group chat can blow up all they want. I don't really care. I like it. But
reasons why I left.
you gotta beef the line, man. Like at the end of the day, you're not looking at. I mean, you gotta beef that line.
I think there's enough offensive line in this draft. And I think you can trade up and get someone to help out this offensive line. And there it is. The pick is in for Jets. They take Armand Mimbu. I don't have a lot on this guy. I honestly,
he's a good card in college football Ultimate Team.
that doesn't help me at all.
I mean, that's all I know. That's all I know.
Well, you go get a guy who's got the intangibles. 6'4", 332. Was graded 91 overall grade as offensive lineman. Probably could play guard. Jets need all the help in the world. They need all the help in the world. They really do. They fumbled with the Aaron Rodgers, signing. Then they went and got his Devontae. They got Devontae Adams for him, and it just did not work out for them. They fumbled big with that. The Jets need to rebuild. They need to rebuild this entire thing. It's been a failure the last 2 years. We thought their defense got better, and it just didn't. It didn't work out, and it hasn't worked out. So,
I mean, I don't know who. I mean, I don't know anything about Mimbu. I don't. I mean,
yeah, and that's probably a good thing. That shows you that he's probably a really good player because the guy is. No one knows who he is. I think Will said earlier, the less you know, the better he is.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna,
I think he's a project. I mean, I do. I think he's a really great athlete. The traits are there, but I think he's really a project. He's kind of a tweener on the offensive line. So I've seen, ESPN has him. What was it, 6'4.5"? Some sites I've seen him have him listed at 6'3".
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I mean, how big is he really? I think he's a tweener. I think, and there's questions about his motor, and how he finishes blocks. I think he's a project, and
I mean,
to me, the Jets do not need any more projects.
You got a project at quarterback. You got a project in Elijah Vera Tucker at right guard. I'll say it. You got some pretty massive holes, and I know it's a hot take to say they should have taken a guy over another guy, but Josh Simmons at Ohio State, I watched him dismantle Tennessee's front seven, and that front seven was no slouch. That was a top 10 front seven in college football for me this year. I might be biased, but I mean, you're talking about he made those dudes look like chumps on that O line. I mean, he made those dudes on that D line. He made those dudes look like chumps. And Amari Thomas, JPJ, even the other guy on the other side, Joshua. I think Joshua Pierce is his name, or Joshua Phillips. No joke. Those cats are no joke. And Rodney Garner is not a joke. He don't make slouches.
Can confirm. Another offensive lineman on the board that I think would have been a much better pick for the Jets, Kelvin Banks from Texas. I think that dude is ready-made to step in and start in the NFL.
Are they worried about his injuries, though?
Could be.
Him getting banged up last year toward the end of the season. I think it was a conference championship game. He got banged up. I think that's where they're. Oh God. I don't know. I don't know if you're going to take offensive lineman here and you didn't go with Mimbo. I don't know who you go with. Josh Simmons is up there, but they haven't graded a lot lower. They haven't.
Matthew Golden, Jahdae Barron. I mean, like I say, I think he's a project. The Jets, they can't afford projects.
They need to hope that this one works out. If not, they're done. They're done with projects.
Michael Williams still on the board. Walter Nolan.
Yeah. Jalen Walker.
I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this Carolina roster real quick. It is depleted severely, but I have a feeling that we are about to see. In my gut, I think that I think Tyler Warren might be off the board.
No.
They need a tight end.
That's crazy. They need a lot more than a tight end.
They need everything, man. I don't know what they do.
They need offensive help. They need someone to help out.
They need everything, but
offensive line. They need wide receivers. They need defensive ends. They need safety. I mean,
they don't need a defensive end.
No, they don't need the end. They got Jadeveon Clowney and Derek Brown.
Well, he's a defense tackle.
He plays D end for them. They play
a 3-4.
Yeah, they play 3-4.
Interesting.
Yep. I'm using. Y'all saw the link that I sent y'all for our lads.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah. So they play 3-4. And you can kind of see. And their offense is base 11 personnel. And right now, Tommy Trimble is your tight end. Granted,
That's a great point.
I mean,
That's a great point. If you're going to be an 11 personnel and you're rolling Tommy Tremble out there,
like I'm looking at this and I'm like, you're a base 11 team. Well, you can't roll him out there.
So many holes, man. They've
I
got
think
so
I
many
think it's
holes.
Ted McMillan.
I could see them do that just to give.
You look at your wide receiver. You have Jalen Coker, Xavier Leggett, and Adam Thielen.
And the corpse of Adam Thielen.
Yeah, and your backups are David
You've
Moore,
got two good
Dan
receivers right there.
Chesna, and Dax Mine. Yeah, I'd take Ted McMillan.
Obviously, Thielen is old, but
Ted McMillan.
Bang! There you go. Good call, Ralph.
I don't know, it was a good call.
And I don't think it's a bad pick either. I think Ted McMillan is actually a good pick for them. Anywhere would have been a good pick for them. They could have picked freaking Jalen Walker. It would have been a good pick.
They
could have picked Shedeur Sanders. They'd have had two of the same quarterback.
Chill.
Well, at least he can see over on this line, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, yeah. They could have. They
Ted
really could have
McMillan,
picked anyone.
6'4", 219.
Yeah,
they do not look happy about it. They don't look. Panthers fans do not look excited about this pick.
I wouldn't be either if I was a Panthers fan.
I think they wanted defense. I think they wanted
They wanted
defense.
something better.
Or trade down.
I mean, look, Ted McMillan going into this past year was the number one receiver on everyone's boards. Coming out the 2023 season where he was just absolute freak. Him and Noah Fafetta at Arizona. They did great work there in their in 2023, and I just felt like he got banged up a lot in 24. They really couldn't stay healthy. He couldn't, you know, the numbers dropped a little bit, but the dude's still there. I think he's really highly talented, and he's gonna give some defenses problems. You know, I do like this pick though. I do. I think this is a good pick.
Saints pick is already in.
It's Jaxson Dart, baby. Here it
like
goes.
a sense of urgency in the draft this year, which is refreshing.
I mean, he did. I think there was there a report about the Shedeur Sanders New Orleans relationship? Is it like they're not taking him, or
there was something about that? Yeah. I'm thinking, why not Tyler Warren? So
who's playing quarterback?
Carr.
I have no idea.
Carr or Rattler?
Oh God,
Derek Carr is still on that roster.
I think Derek Carr is done in New Orleans.
But I don't think they take.
There will be an absolute revolt if he's starting week 1.
I agree. They won't take tight end
or Kelvin Banks to protect, because the tackle that the Saints took.
What, 2 years ago?
Was that Fuaga or Penning?
Penning. Terrible. It's been terrible.
Yeah.
I think it's
Gold
Kelvin
Fella
Banks.
says, I'd love for Sanders to take New Orleans. It would guarantee the Falcons couldn't take him.
I mean, look, he's not going 9.
Oh my God.
But he could go 15 easily.
But you know what? And I'm getting excited. It means Jalen Walker's falling. And that would be fun.
So is Michael Williams.
Be interesting.
Matthew Golden?
No, get away from me. It just
Get away.
There's good value in the 2nd and 3rd round, even 4th on some receivers. And Atlanta needs a burner.
Might fall to the 2nd.
Yeah,
Like, put it in context.
you need a burner if you're Atlanta too. And Ralph would like this. I'd take Tez Johnson in like the 5th round.
You got Jaden Higgins, you got Trey Harris, Luther Burden, Jalen Noel, everyone's favorite Jack Beck.
Yeah. Falcons are taking Luther Burden at 15.
Luther Burden's going to the 2nd. There's character concerns, effort concerns, route tree concerns. Just all of this stuff has come up.
No, I'll tell you who they're going to take. In the 4th round, they're taking Brew McCoy.
My king.
Oh God,
Jason.
He won the Alabama game for us 3 years ago now. Just saying.
You play for the team?
My heart.
Hey, look, Sam, move your head a little bit. There's a trophy right behind them. You can see it. Look, see that trophy right there?
Oh, wait.
That's
Hold on.
the other way.
Oh, there we go.
That's his trophy he won in that game. Hang the banner.
Hang the banner. We beat Alabama. I don't think the Saints go tight end because they have Foster Moreau, and he's been more than about to go UDFA because of the juke.
Greatest play in history.
Greatest play in football history.
I think it's Jaxson Dart here. I do think so. I think they got a quarterback here.
Yeah, I think Kellen Moore's getting a quarterback.
It's Kellen Moore, dude. He wants a quarterback.
Offensive head, first year coach, offensive background.
Former quarterback, college legend.
Todd McShay this week was talking about Tyler Shuck to New Orleans because you think about the different quarterbacks that Kellen Moore's had, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, mobile guys. And I mentioned earlier, Tyler Shuck, second fastest quarterback in this draft class. Now, I think you could get him in the second round if you're New Orleans. Especially if you're not taking quarterback here. You think about later in the first round, the quarterbacks that would go. I think you could get him, or you could definitely trade back and get him later. But I think that's an interesting thought. It's one that I haven't thought about, but makes sense with the mobile quarterbacks that he's had as an NFL offensive coordinator.
Going back to Banks, Armstead's gone, and that would be somewhere you could replace him. I don't know. We'll see.
You can move Penning
Anywhere off the roster.
Baton Rouge.
You can
Anywhere.
move him to Birmingham.
Okay.
All right. Kelvin
Banks.
Kelvin Banks.
I mean,
I think it's a great pick.
I think
He can start day one for them too, and he might need to.
He has to.
Yeah.
You cannot be worse than Penning. You cannot be worse than Penning. You can't.
I like Kelvin Banks. I do. I think it's a good pick. It's not who I thought it was going to be, but I do like this pick.
The Bears.
I think if the Jets would have gone Kelvin Banks, Saints would have gone quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Who's next? Is it the Bears are next? I do. Offensive line. Right? They got to.
Well, they addressed a lot of it. So I'm looking at their I'm looking at their roster right now.
Are they going defense?
They got 3 offensive linemen in free agency. The only offensive lineman that has not been 2 offensive linemen that haven't been replaced are Darnell Wright, and volunteer legend Darnell Wright, and Braxton Jones. And then, and then defense. I mean, Montez Sweat. They run a base 4-2, just so we are aware. TJ Edwards,
4-2-5.
Yep.
Now, I want to offer something here real quick. What if they go tight end?
Tyler Warren?
Cole Kmet.
Warren Loveland out of Michigan, pretty good player. Like, what if they want to surround their new quarterback with as much talent as possible and say, hey, let's give him the safety valve and make it an electric player who can do some things for you?
What about Matthew Golden as that slot receiver? Is he right now, according to our lads, has Olamide Zaccheaus as their slot receiver?
Falcons legend.
There's several Falcons legends on this roster. Drew Dahlman, who I think the Falcons, why on earth did you let him walk? Grady Jarrett, I think it's best if we don't get into that. It's the Chicago Falcons up there with Ben Johnson as the head coach.
So, just looking at this, the offensive personnel tendencies for 12 personnel, for the Lions was actually hovered around between 28 and 30% last season, which you can kind of use to then say, they're going to be in 12 personnel in Chicago a lot. And they're going to want someone that can block. So either of those tight ends work for sure.
Would it be crazy to take Loveland over Tyler Warren?
I think so, just for versatility's sake and knowing how Ben Johnson works.
Oh, my God.
What?
Well, it's Colston Loveland.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I'm like refreshing Twitter, and I am seeing the picks early, spoiled by none other than the Adam Schefter. I don't hate it.
The first reply to that tweet is "Yikes!" Oh man, this is I'm ready to see what the fans say about this one. What is going on here?
I like Colston Loveland. I think
He's
for all
good. He's
those
a good
reasons
player.
you
Good
said-
player.
For all those reasons you said, Sam, I like Colston Loveland.
Yeah. Why am I looking at tweets from people telling me when they're going to announce the NFL schedule? That is not important. Why? Yeah, no, Colston Loveland, great pickup, especially with if you're going to block, as someone who can, you might block better than Tyler Warren.
Finished last year with 56 catches, 582 yards, 5 touchdowns. Obviously didn't have a quarterback at Michigan last year. They're, very lackluster quarterback room for them last year. And, Tyler Warren, though, finished with 104 catches, 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns. Also ran for 218 yards and 4 touchdowns. And I'm pretty sure he had a passing touchdown this year. I think Loveland's a good pick, but I think Tyler Warren might have been a better option.
Wait, so the NFL just announced the schedule announcement?
We gotta teach Sam how to use StreamYard.
The NFL just announced when they're going to announce the schedule during the middle of the draft.
We respect that.
Like-
Thank you.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I like Colston Loveland. Think about what the Bears are going to want to do, what Ben Johnson's going to want to do offensively. Certainly going to look to run the ball. But man, if Genty would have been there, that's a no-brainer for the Bears. But obviously DeAndre Swift, really good, kind of really found his footing with Chicago.
I'll tell you right now, I'm reading some stuff on our message board over at Go 24/7. Fans are not happy about the Kelvin Banks pick.
Oh.
So,
is
what it is. They felt like it's a reach inside the top 10. It's like, what are we going to get? He's going to get taken to 12, 11?
Who are you supposed to take?
They had a freak out if they took Dart.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's silly. I think that you beef the line.
San Francisco. Well, here's a good question. Ken Hendrick says, do you think Ben is really a tight end guy, or did he just have a great tight end and know how to use him? I don't know.
I think it's the second one. He had a great tight end and knew how to use him.
He coached tight ends. He was a tight ends coach. And he was a tight ends coach in Miami. He was a tight ends coach at Boston College. He was a tight ends coach in Detroit. So almost everywhere he's been, he has at one point coached tight ends. So, I think that he used Laporta as much as he did because Laporta is great.
Yeah.
When Detroit had Hawkinson, I don't know why I just forgot that. When he had Hawkinson, he was his tight ends coach.
Yeah.
He was the passing game coordinator when he had TJ Hawkinson. It's not far-fetched to say he's a tight end guy. He's probably why they went and got TJ Hawkinson and Sam Laporta in hopes that they would work together, I guess. And
also, don't forget that he also has JT Barrett as his quarterback's coach now. Which I know Ben Johnson's a big offensive guru here, but I think having JT Barrett as a QB coach will help out a lot for Caleb Williams and this offense going forward. And you have Dennis Allen on the defensive side. So
San Francisco is going to go defense here.
Yeah,
100%.
Like, I mean, you could go Walter Nolan for the interior, play a little 3-tech. You can go Michael Williams here coming off the edge. It'll be interesting to see. God, we're just getting closer and closer to pick number 15, which is making me nervous. Yeah, there go, Phil. Only 4 more picks before we get depression. God.
I mean, so you're saying you take Michael if that's who they take, or you take you put him opposite Nick. That's interesting.
I think you take Michael. Yeah, I do. I think because your team last year was just injury prone. I mean, the entire roster was hurt for San Francisco, but the defense stayed kind of together and stayed healthy and kept them in games they shouldn't have been kept in at all because their offense was so bad.
But they also
what?
Sorry, go ahead.
They lost their weak side linebacker to the Broncos. Do they go Jalen Walker?
I mean, looking at the base defense for the 49ers is a 4-2. That front six is really good. Nick Bosa, Jordan Elliott, Evan Anderson, Yotor Gross-Matos coming in, D. Winters and Fred Warner at your linebacker spots. I don't know. Maybe I'm just higher on Jahdae Barron than maybe I should be.
He had the number one
admittedly,
graded man coverage last year. The number one graded man coverage. You were not too high on him.
Admittedly, I don't know ball.
Jahdae.
Do you like Jahdae better than Will Johnson? Fully healthy, I feel like it's kind of even. I mean, I don't feel like you could go wrong.
It's close. I think you like Will Johnson as a true lockdown corner at 6'2". Is like the true, he's your guy. But I mean, yeah, no. Jahdae Barron was the number one man corner in college football last year. It's not close.
I mean, looking at the 49ers secondary, they have Trey Brown coming in from Seattle. At corner, Renardo Green. You're certainly not going to give up on him yet. He was just a second-round pick last year. Your nickel corner is Diamador Lenore. I think Jahdae Barron comes in there and I think can start for you at cornerback.
I think you're right. I think you take one of the Bulldogs, or you take a corner. Take one of the top 2 corners, or you take a Bulldog. And if you don't do that, then I think you messed up. I mean, the offensive side of that ball will always click. It's Kyle Shanahan. It will always. He will find a way. But addressing a linebacker for them, I feel like it's kind of a need.
Yeah, I mean, Fred Warner certainly getting up there in age. He's not going to be there forever.
You're right.
And you can argue Dre Greenlaw doesn't tear his Achilles. They have a Super Bowl ring.
I don't know. That team was really good.
Side conversation, but you watch a emotional leader rupture his Achilles as you're going out, 2-minute drill, and you're about to go up against Patrick Mahomes. You're scrambling.
You're half your team's season on the sideline.
Yeah,
I agree.
Thinking about the Niners defense, the 4-2-5. If you're going linebacker, I mean, you're kind of looking for somebody to play in the middle or play coverage. Jalen Walker, I mean, he's kind of a hybrid, I guess, because he rushes the passer so well. But to me, he feels more like an edge.
He's an elite off the ball linebacker.
Yes, that is true. But the fit there seems interesting to me. Jahad Campbell would be a better fit. Thinking of a guy playing through the middle.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know how Fred Warner would do it the will. I mean, I feel like we've seen him play there, and I think you can move Jalen to the mic, and it fit really well. But you would have to. I think Fred would have to be okay switching back to weak side.
Yeah.
Mm.
This is an interesting pick because this isn't a team that's got a ton of holes. They really don't.
No, I mean they were good going into last year. They just got hurt. McCaffrey could not play, but 1 or 2 games all year, and then you had your lockout with Ayuk, and then Debo wasn't Debo all year, and
they're picking at 11.
Yeah,
like this team is too good to be picking at 11. So
I agree. It was a really fluke year.
I mean,
last year,
of the 11 teams that have picked so far, is it crazy to say that the 49ers have the most pressure on their pick? Because when are they going to draft this high again? I mean, if you're the Niners, you think you're not going to draft this high again in a while?
They can draft this high again in 2 years. Their window is slim. It is slim right now. It was wide open for about 3 years, but their championship window, and they're about to become sellers because you're going to have to pay Purdy, and you're going to have to pay,
or are you going to have to pay him?
You move on.
It's a hot debate. Are they going to pay him or not?
I'll say this: that quarterback class next year is loaded.
Yeah.
And if you're San Francisco, are you hoping just to kind of
49ers go edge? Michael Williams.
I think it's a great pick. Columbus native. That's an awesome pick for them.
I think that's a good pick.
Happy for the kid. That's one of my favorite interviews got to do out of high school. He got mad at Bryce for spelling his name wrong on Twitter one time. But it's a good pick. I think San Francisco got a good one. A guy who if he goes 100% every play, is one of the better players out there. So
Dallas is on.
It might just be the best. That might just be the best pass rush in the league now. Bosa on one edge, Michael Williams on the other.
Up there with the Giants.
For sure.
On paper,
Cowboys.
That is gross.
Nope,
yeah, Dallas. Where's Dallas good? I think it's Tyler Warren time. I think it's where you get Tyler Warren.
They go and send Jerry to the retirement home. That's where they go.
What'd you say?
They send Jerry to the retirement home. That is where they go.
I think it's Tyler Warren here because your quarterback room is Dak Prescott, Joe Milton, and Will Grier. So you have 3 former SEC quarterbacks for one.
I think it's Jahdae Barron. Trayvon Diggs injured.
Yeah.
Ain't
Deron
been the
Bland,
ACL.
really good.
DeMarvion Overshawn hurt.
And then your nickel corner looks like Israel Mukuamu. Jahdae Barron, I think he's the best player available right now. I think he's the best fit for the Cowboys right now.
I don't know. Dallas is always weird to me.
Because they don't make sense.
No. They don't. And
do not tell me that's true.
Yeah. Oh, I hope that's not true.
Do not tell me that's true.
Are you?
Do not tell me that's true.
There's no way.
I'm gonna laugh.
Not true.
We're gonna be here for a minute. This is good. I can't. Someone get Stephen A on Twitter right now.
Hold on. I'm finding Drip Bayless. I'm finding Drip Bayless right now.
No shot. Oh, I can't wait to go to work in the morning. My supervisor's a Cowboys fan. Oh, that's gonna be great.
So just so we know, Skip Bayless tweets, "Take Tyler Warren, Jerry."
Wow. Tyler Booker.
Tyler Warren was minus 1,000 to be the first tight end drafted by DraftKings Sportbook. Tyler Booker. Let's see Cowboys for fans' reaction. Oh, they're not happy about that. Oh, they're not happy about that. Oh, they weren't happy about that.
tripling down on what the Cowboys have tried to do the last several years is just try to outscore everybody.
Oh my gosh! And I know Bryce is thinking about it right now. And I see him over there. It's just another Jalen Walker just dropping down further. He's getting there right there at the edge.
Jalen Walker would have been a great move here. You look at the Cowboys linebackers, DeMarvion Overshown injured.
Not going
Then-
defense is shocking.
Maris Liufau, the other alongside him. They do bring in Kenneth Murray and Jack Sanborn. But I think Jalen Walker would have been a guy that could come right in and play. I think Ja'Day Barron would have come in and started on this defense.
Like what guard
Wow.
is he replacing?
Yeah, that's what he's not replacing
you
Tyler
had
Smith, right?
Tyler Smith or Brock Hoffman, I guess.
I guess he's playing right guard for them.
Yeah, Brock Hoffman.
But that makes no sense because I mean, I guess they're saying Jake Ferguson is the guy at tight end. And they're saying they're putting all their cards in on Jalen Tolbert, Jonathan Mingo, who probably is, I mean, he's pretty good, and CD. You got no help.
And if you go offense, I mean, you can really reach right here and take Travion Henderson or Quinshon Judkins, and people will call you crazy for reaching that far, but those guys are really good. They're going to be at minimum contributors and probably get the bulk of carries, if not in 2025 and probably in 2026. I mean, those are safe picks. Guard does not feel like the need.
I will say, corner that they can kind of live with the corners they have.
Mm-hmm.
I can get why they didn't go corner. I don't think you can live with the linebacker play from last year. If you're Dallas, you cannot.
And you've got a projected starter that's injured.
Don't show the Cowboys draft room like that. Jerry's over there. Yeah, they're all excited they took Tyler Booker. There's not a single Cowboys fan out there who is excited about that pick.
I don't see a single smile in that draft room.
You never do. I mean, they're on the Death Star.
Yeah, they really are.
I mean, the defensive end you have opposite Micah Parsons right now is Dante Fowler Jr.
Let me say something real quick. I saw someone tweet just this. Glad we're drafting offensive line because Dak's going to need time to throw to me this year. That's tough. This franchise is a joke.
Mozzie Smith was not good. He did not pan out. You needed to go in the trenches on the D line. They're beefing the wrong line.
Oh, me.
You have Derek Harmon, who could have played nose or shade for you. You got Walter Nolan, who could have played a 3. He could have played your 3 technique. I mean, this is just a joke. You could have drafted Shamar Turner, and this probably would have been better.
Ken Hendricks says, I'm not popular, but I like this pick. They can't keep their quarterback healthy, and Dak throws with less time than almost anyone. It's a great point. It's a great point, but I just see a lot of holes in this team.
I mean, Joe Burrow threw with the least amount of time of anyone, and he made the best decisions all year. If it wasn't for Zach Taylor, they're playing in the playoffs, and here we are. You know, I'm kind of out on Dak. I think we've seen the ceiling. I don't think you will ever win a ring with him.
Jerry Jones might be the only guy in on Dak Prescott at this point.
You will never win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott unless you have an elite defense.
Yeah.
You're just not.
I'm ready to see Michael Parsons' podcast.
Oh. I'm wondering if we're going to see him in the Star again in a few years. I think he's gone.
It'll be interesting to see what happens in Dallas over the weekend. So now we got Miami on the clock. This is Miami's a weird one for me.
I feel like Miami was a lot better than their record showed. Moving on from Jalen Ramsey, I think tells us that they're going to go Will Johnson or Jade Barron.
Yeah, I agree.
Because right now you've Storm Duck as your corner.
Are you hating on Storm Duck, dude? We don't hate on Storm Duck.
Who is Storm Duck? I mean, outside of an all-name team.
UNC, did he not?
I don't know. But I mean, they run a 3-4. You could definitely use some help at the end.
They need help offensive line too, though, because the quarterback is one target away from retirement. I don't know who they go with here. I'm gonna say Barron. I just think that's the safe pick, but it's probably not the right pick.
Also, we are very close to that pick number 15. We are very close to that.
We don't get into that. Let's see Ralph shotgun a beer. Yes, please.
No.
We need some entertainment.
I mean, not what y'all want to hear.
I mean, I'll turn on me playing Snake.
Excuse me?
No, like the game, like the computer.
You want to play with a snake?
No, stop. That's gross.
Oh man, this is I'm excited to see what happens here for this pick.
This is gonna.
There is a Dolphins fan on a certain program that may or may not just lose his mind tonight if the pick goes wrong.
Who?
Frank the Tank.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Oh. I'm going to Twitter.
No shot.
Did they just pick who I think they just picked?
They did. Yeah, I think they did. Oh, Jesus.
Unserious franchises. That's what we have here. Unserious franchises.
Oh my God. They're not taking him. They're not.
Just so we know, fallers in the draft right now: Jalen Walker, future Denver Bronco Tyler Warren, Will Johnson, Jade Barron, all falling.
Josh Simmons.
Derek Harmon falling. Why did they take Kenneth Grant?
Jade Barron.
They must look. I'll tell you this one thing about NFL: their scouts and their analysts know way more than we do. I'll say that.
Are you sure? I would argue that they don't.
I was getting there, but they do some strange picks sometimes, and that just it stuns me. I mean, he is.
Well, you know, this pick might make a lot of sense. You got to think he'll probably play what, nose?
Yeah.
Their projected starter at nose tackle is Benito Jones. Doesn't really inspire a lot of confidence.
Doesn't move me. Definitely doesn't move me. But I will say this. It's just interesting, and this is about to go against what I was saying for this team, just talking about the way scouts and front offices build teams. You look at this and you're kind of like, you should build from the inside out on both sides of the ball. You should start if you're on the offensive side of the ball, you address quarterback, and then you're going to build from the inside out, and you're going to start at quarterback, and then you're going to go and you're going to get you a left tackle, or since we have lefties, right tackles, you're going to cover the blind spot, and then you're going to build that offensive line, and you're going to live off of serviceable, money ball type receivers that you can make up for whatever superstar you lose in the aggregate. It is what it is. You can find receivers dime a dozen.
Don't say aggregate around this crew.
Why's that?
Moneyball.
I love Moneyball.
All right.
Colts
right here, Tyler Warren. This is the pick.
They have to.
I'm going to crash out.
You shouldn't because he's
Gotta
for
think it's Tyler
Here's
Warren.
the thing, though,
Right?
Sam. He shouldn't be this far down in the first place, in my opinion.
But
I think he's going higher.
He's got Denver Bronco written all over him.
He does not. He's got Colts blue on him.
It's okay. We're gonna take we'll take Amarion Hampton and be happy about it.
You're going to take Jarquez Hunter in the 3rd round. And you're going to like it.
And I'm gonna like it.
You're going to like it. Him and Bo Nix back together.
Oh God. Let's just go trade for Tank Bigsby while we're at it. Let's really just say that we're Auburn.
Feed families in the future.
Oh my gosh. I mean, this is
Welcome back, Bryce.
Bryce, you missed the 2 worst picks for the Bryce's poop.
Kenneth Grant.
Kenneth Grant. That's
the Tyler Booker one is way worse. Way worse.
All right, so now that the Colts have picked Tyler Warren, let's talk about it. The Falcons. Do you go Jalen Walker
I'm gonna let
here at 15?
Nope, and I'll tell you why. He
all right.
played at Georgia. The Falcons do not draft players that played at
In
Georgia.
defense, the entire staff was in Athens this year. Like their entire staff went to Athens for the pro day.
They must have got lost.
I mean, I don't hate the pick. That is the best.
They need a linebacker, man. They need and then you can walk Walker down. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I will say this, and
don't
Sam,
think
I've
you need
been
a
sending
corner.
out tons of mock drafts in our Discord for the Falcons.
Yeah.
Every single one of those, Walker was not available. Okay, when in pick 15, so I'd trade back. Mike Green could be good, but there's just a lot of bust potential for me there. I mean, just maybe it's conceded take in terms of what level he played at, but in the competition he played, still put up video game like numbers, but.
You know who I would
Walker
really
here
like?
be good to me.
Actually, no, it makes 0 sense because the Falcons are actually pretty good on the offensive line because Josh Simmons is still there.
JPJ is still there. You're going to get an edge.
We're just going to have to be comfortable and content with Matthew Golden.
Will.
Oh, no. We might have to go solo shot of Bryce if Matthew Golden is picked. Oh, man.
Is it actually?
Oh, I'm trying to refresh. I'm trying to get a.
I'm refreshing so much right now. It doesn't seem like there's anything. Are you finding anything? Don't say it, okay?
Hold on.
I haven't even looked. I'm just looking at.
Have y'all seen
who's available?
Have y'all seen the picture that the NFL posted? You know how they post like the cartoon version of players for their NFL draft? Yeah, that's so wrong. That's so wrong. That's so wrong. Oh my gosh. I can't refresh fast enough. I cannot refresh fast enough.
Okay, you need an edge rusher bad, but you just need a guy that can get after the quarterback. And Jalen Walker's a menace. A menace.
He's certainly the best fit for the Falcons right now. Falcons are good on offensive line. I mean,
real quick, sorry to interrupt, just giving you some news. Joe Patrick of 92.9 The Game, the Falcons reporter, he goes, the Falcons a little slower with this pick right now. Perhaps this is an attempt to shop the pick happening now. Now look.
My source said word on the street is we're trading back. So
there is a potential trade here. Look, man, if you can get to 25 and you can trade and you can get James Pierce Jr., Shamar Stewart, you can get one of those guys. I'm cool with that because you don't have a lot of picks. And Sam, I don't know how much you've looked at the Falcons roster. Every single mock draft I've done, I've gotten at least an edge rusher, an interior defensive line guy, and 2 corners, 2 DBs. Yep. I think that this has to be a defensive heavy draft. You need capital.
So right now, I'm looking at their defense. They run a 3-4 base. It's rough on that front. It's rough in the front. I mean, it is.
You have to address it. You have to address it. And if you can trade back and you feel comfortable and saying we're gonna get a speed rush guy and put him opposite Leonard Floyd at left outside linebacker, and you're gonna go get James Pierce Jr., who can drop and cover the flat and can do all of the. He's very versatile. I think you go. I think you trade back and you take it.
If you love Jalen Walker here, I'm cool with it. This has been my take. If you draft Jalen Walker here and it just doesn't work out, it just doesn't work out. I'm not going to be mad. I'm mad if you do something like taking something stupid here and just I'm already angry.
I think a trade back is not bad here. I think it's smart.
Wow. The Falcoholic from SB Nation is reporting that the Falcons are fielding calls right now for this pick.
As they should. As they should.
If they
What did they just say? DJ Uiagalelei is the quarter. Is the I would actually take the screen down. I'd take all my clothes off on live on the stream.
Oh gosh, that pained me to hear.
It's got to be defense. It's got to be defense.
Take offense here. You can't do it.
There is nobody on offense that I'm like, okay, that I can understand that. There's not a single offensive player where I can think that.
I'm tweeting in all
I didn't even
caps.
mention cornerback, but I'm going to say his name again, Jahdae Barron.
I'd be
Put him
fine
on
with
the
that.
other side of AJ.
Oh my
Terrell.
God. Oh no. Maria Martin, Atlanta 11 channel there in 11 Live News. Source tells me it's not Jalen Walker here. Now listen, if they
He's
take
20 minutes down the road.
Sam, I need your attendance here. Okay. If we'll miss the pick. If they take Mike Green over Jalen Walker, is that the end of the world?
No.
Yep. Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Talk me off the ledge.
It's a risky pick. We all know the kid did not play the SEC caliber offenses, but at the end of the day, I think going boomer bust on the edge, you can't get worse. You can't.
Ryan Brown of Next Round Live, he goes, this is where the Falcons draft a first baseman.
Matt Olson, you are an Atlanta Falcon.
God.
Holy.
42 seconds.
Hey,
what if they
why
just
not
What are we
take
doing?
Shedeur?
What are we
I
doing?
mean,
Why
Deion
not
plays
take
for the Falcons.
Shedeur?
Why not take him? Deion was a Falcon.
No.
What if
They'll take
Penix
Shiloh
gets hurt?
Sanders at 15? Dude, what is happening?
They picked the wrong Sanders on accident.
The pick is in.
Wait, Zach Klein. The league source tells me that at 15, the Falcons are going with Georgia Bulldogs linebacker Jalen Walker.
It might be the first time in like 5 years the Falcons didn't miss
Jalen
on their
Walker
first
is now
round.
getting a phone call. Josh Mixon, friend of the show. Come on, Atlanta Falcons draft Milrow.
Where is Schefter?
God, I need to see it. Just please.
The Falcons have just refused to take Georgia players, and it makes no sense.
The last one, I think, was Thomas Brown, who's now, the OC with the Rams? Or is he still there? I don't know if he's there anymore.
I mean, you have an NFL factory 20 minutes down the road.
People are saying it's Jalen Walker. That's the kind of the reporting, the media aspect.
What is this watch party? Why are they not inside the bins? That's where the real watch party is.
It's Penix again. It's in.
Jordan Schultz, the first big, Fox Sports NFL insider, has said Falcons have selected Georgia. He says defensive tackle Jalen Walker, so God knows what that means. They'll probably line him up as a 3-tech and just at undersized and let him rush the quarterback.
Hey, Jalen Walker, you're going to line up at shade.
They'll let him play quarterback.
Holy.
Got a head coach that's coached both sides of the ball.
Here we go. I'll let the pick go through and then we'll talk about it because I did get a text about this. And we're going to bring on someone from 92.9 The Game to talk about it.
Will, your source was wrong.
Well, there is something to that apparently.
Well, my source is not in the war room, so
This is true.
All right, it's Jalen Walker. Okay, so here we go. This is what I just
here
got a
we
text
go.
about.
Just,
Jalen Walker goes to Georgia.
this
or
this
goes to Georgia.
that should be a timeout.
What is it? Do you think Jalen Walker will be a bust? Well, Joe,
Take the
just let
gold
us be
glasses
happy
off.
for 5
Coach.
seconds.
Oh
Joe.
my gosh.
Okay, so here's the thing. Apparently, it took so long. The Falcons were trying to find a deal to trade back, and they didn't like the deal. They take him. I am cool with that. If they would have done that with Mike Green, I'd have been mad. I'd have been frustrated. But the fact that Walker fell down there to him, I love it. I love it. I'm going to text this link over real quick, and we're going to get my guy in here. But yeah, no, I like it. Sam, as a non-Falcons fan, your thoughts on this move and what it does for you?
This moves the meter.
Mm.
This one moves the meter. This one takes Atlanta, and you're looking at this defense now, and you're throwing him in. You're throwing him in, and he can play. I mean, he can play the outside linebacker. He can play the inside linebacker. I mean, you're talking about the best off-ball linebacker in this draft, and it's not close. It's not close. He will definitely be a key piece to this defense for years and years to come. He will be. It's kind of hard to say a ceiling and a floor for him. I mean, he's so versatile. I think this one it changes the complexion of that room and that front seven unit. I mean, that linebacker room now is. I'm not saying they're scary, but I mean they are different. They are definitely different. You have a guy you have to avoid, and you have to account for him for 60 minutes, and that matters. Because right now, if you'd tell me I needed to account for Leonard Floyd for 60 minutes, I think I could live with it. You're telling me I have to account for him and Jalen Walker. I think that it's a different. I think it's a different.
Here's the thing too. We talked about there's good value. You can still you could double up on edge in the 4th or 5th round. I mean, if you really wanted to remake this room, because look, you don't have Grady Jarrett anymore. So what do you really have in terms of you could line Walker up, over the guard or something like that. This is huge. I mean, this is I love this. I love this move. I did text the link over. We'll try to get my guy in here in a second. But
some second round names to note at edge: Jordan Birch. I mean, that's a pretty big name. I do not know how to say his name. JT from Ohio State.
JTT.
Yeah. That guy's solid. Nick Scorton. You can trade back for him. You can get some value.
Well, here's the thing too. I have said this, man. To me, corner and edge is where they need to go get some guys. You're perfect now because now you can get Walker in there. It doesn't put a ton of pressure on Leonard Floyd to be like the guy. That's the problem, Sam.
Yeah.
All these guys they've brought in the past couple of years, Lorenzo Carter, now Floyd, they've had to be the guy, right? Like, and that they were never suited to be that. Now you can just be a rotational or a situational pass rusher, and you can have a guy there. So, yeah, I don't know. It's
having a guy that can walk down at that spot is, it's massive, and it causes a problem, especially if you're rotating and you're talking about twists and stunts that you're able to do now that you probably weren't able to do before. Not saying that those players couldn't, but they just probably weren't. Their first step was not Jalen Walker's first step.
Yeah.
Well,
and I wanted to go back to this because you mentioned, they're running a. Now, I want to ask this because the base defense is a 3-4. Obviously, you kind of look at what they have, right? Okay, you have Troy Anderson and Caden Ellis, who I liked Caden Ellis at times last year. To me, Troy Anderson's a guy that got hurt early, his rookie year. Very athletic. I think this allows – it doesn't make him be the guy. And I just think that it just settles some spots into the defense to where you're like, okay, now you can play your role. You don't have to play outside of yourself and do something that's crazy.
What about Arnold? Is it
Ebiketie?
Ebiketie?
Ebiketie, yeah.
How? I I didn't watch a lot of the Falcons. I was watching the Denver. What's the general pulse on him? Because you could say we're running Caden Ellis and Troy Anderson, and then at left outside linebacker, you've got, you're throwing Jalen Walker out there, and he can drop into the flat. He can rush the passer. He can come off the edge.
I mean, he's not bad. I think he had 6 sacks last year, had a nice little potential breakout year. So it was kind of fun. All right. I do want to bring on my guy here real quick, Sam. So I'm going to take you out real quick and I bring him in. We got my guy, Garrett Chapman. Garrett.
What's up, buddy?
Man, last year we brought you on and we were just, we were irate. And now we sit here tonight as the Falcons select Jalen Walker. What's your initial reaction and takeaway?
I can't believe he was there. I mean, the fact that he was even available at this point is stunning to me. I had no thought that said coming into this draft that Jalen Walker was going to be the guy. I thought he was going to Carolina. I thought he was going to go top 10 at the very least. And then he started dropping a little bit. Michael Williams started to drop a little bit. And at that point, I'm like, oh, we might have our pick of the litter. And this might end up being very good for the Atlanta Falcons. And then Michael Williams comes off the board, of course, at 11. He was my number one pick, just based off of people who I thought were going to be there and available at 15. And then Jalen Walker was still just there. And you talk about just the upside of this guy, a Butkus Award winner at UGA. The dude is everything that you could want at this position. And look, I'm stunned. And not even just the narrative of just Georgia players and going to the Atlanta Falcons. I think that's a bit overrated and it's over talked about and it's oversaturated just because we're in the market that we're in. But I'm thrilled with the pick. I think this is a slam dunk, an absolute steal. And I'm blown away that the Falcons just got Jalen Walker. I had no thought that this was going to be a potential option for them at 15.
Garrett Chapman, 92.9 The Game, obviously talking a lot about the Falcons on a daily basis, also covers Georgia Tech for 24/7 Sports.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you this too, the rumors of them trying to trade back. We said right before you hopped on the show, and I said this, if Walker wasn't there, maybe you take one of the offers. But to me, that offer maybe had to sweeten a little bit because you had the chance to pick Walker. Your thoughts, because a lot of the mock drafts I was working in and looking at, I was going to go get more assets, but now you go from here as you have a guy that you can put down, you can walk down to the edge, you can let him play, in that 3-4 that Atlanta wants to play. Where do you go from here? How does this set maybe the domino effect for where they can go with the limited amount of picks they have?
So I first want to address your first comment just about the fact that they could trade back. I don't think there was much of a market to trade back, truthfully. I don't know who your dance partner was going to be for this pick. So
okay.
I think the Falcons were working the board all the way up until the final seconds of this draft, or of this selection at least. You saw from the clock, they took it down to 30 seconds. My assumption is that they were working the phones up until the last possible second here in this. I don't know if they need assets. I mean, that's the thing that I do know from this draft class is that they need as many starters as they can get, impact players that they can get from this draft class, because not a lot of star power necessarily. Daniel Jeremiah, Dane Brugler, all these draft analysts, take it for face value because no one really knows who these guys are going to be at the next level. But, he says it's a starter-heavy draft, not necessarily a star-laden draft. This is one where you want to get as many bites at the apple as possible. And the Falcons don't really have a lot. They have 2 picks in the top 50, but they have 2 picks in the top 115 too. And then outside of pick 116, they don't have anything until the 7th round. So they need as many assets as they can possibly get. Maybe they can pick something up with a Kirk Cousins trade or something later on down the line. But I don't know about an asset necessarily that's, tantalizing enough for somebody to trade up unless you want Shedeur Sanders, which I don't think there's anybody between now and 21 that would want a quarterback. So, but as far as Jalen Walker goes, I love the idea of having a chess piece in this defense. If you're talking chess pieces, if anybody's a savant out there, this is a queen. Right, he's somebody you can put anywhere on a defensive front. He could do anything on a football field, and I'm thrilled about that fact. He's the son of a coach. He's somebody who can literally do anything. He can put his hand in the dirt. He can stand back. And then a Jeff Ulbrich front, you need versatility. You need a lot of guys, and I think this is the perfect guy for this system.
Yeah, no, I like what you said there, and I think you kind of I guess parlayed it into the next question here. How aggressive is Atlanta in trying to shop Kirk Cousins now? What does that market look like? And is there any other asset on this roster that could command a 4th round pick or a 5th round pick that you could go get?
I mean, in theory, you'd like to trade Kirk Cousins. I don't know how much of a market there is for him, just based off of what Terry Fontenot said. They're not really shopping him publicly, at least privately. I think that they are absolutely trying to shop him and get that $20 million off the roster. I don't know what his value is. I don't know what you're actually going to get back. Maybe a third-round pick. It just depends on how quarterback needy some of these teams are. I mean, I don't know where we are in the draft right now necessarily. I just broke away to come over and have this conversation. But if the Steelers, if you're a Falcons fan out there and you want to see Kirk Cousins get traded, you're hoping against hope that Shedeur Sanders is not that pick at 21. Because if that's the case, Pittsburgh Steelers very well could be a destination for Kirk Cousins. I don't know if that's going to end up being that way because outside of that, it's New Orleans, but you're not sending him to New Orleans. There's no chance that you're going to want to see him twice a year. Or maybe Minnesota, but I don't know if you'd want to waive that no trade clause to go back to where he just was in that same very similar situation to what he is here in Atlanta.
Yeah. Garrett Chapman, we appreciate the time, brother. Obviously, Falcons fans, and there's a lot of crossovers, between Falcons fans and Georgia fans going to be rejoicing late into the night, man. We appreciate your time, and everyone head over to 929 Game to see what those fellas have going on over there. Garrett, we appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your night, man.
Absolutely, my friend.
Garrett Chapman does a good job. Make sure you check him out and everything he has going on, and I'll bring Will back in. Will, kind of heard it there from the guy who covers the team on a daily basis with 929 Garrett, a good friend of the show. I don't know, man. I know we're a couple picks past it now, but I feel good. I mean, I feel good about where it is, and I'm excited to see. And I like what he talked about too. Jeff Ulbrich, new DC, so likes chess pieces. Where do they go from here? Gonna be kind of interesting as Sam hops back in. And I thought that Sam was wearing a Bobby Boucher jersey at first. I honest to God thought that was what that was. So,
who is number 2?
Patrick Surtain, right?
Bang. Yep. Defensive Player of the Year, Patrick Surtain.
He's a good one.
Not moved.
I'd rather have J.C. Horn.
Oh boy. Well, there's that.
Are we bringing this argument back? It's been settled. I tried to tell Gavin. I tried to tell him. Tried.
Could we see, by the way, so real quick recap. I know Gavin was putting it in there. Walter Nolan drafted by Arizona, and now Cincinnati's on the clock. Schefter just talking about right live on the broadcast, fellas, that contract dispute with Trey Hendrickson could influence the Bengals to go after their next guy. I haven't seen the pick. Could this be a Mike Green selection? I don't know. It looks like they're about to make it right now.
Stewart.
So, okay.
What defense do they run?
This feels like a big slide down to 17.
4-2.
Figured he would be, maybe just late top 10 or just outside the top 10.
Here's the thing about Shamar Stewart, and Gavin in the background, I were talking about this, is that Stewart has been a guy who's constantly been around the quarterback, but his ability to finish off the sack has been, I guess, the bugaboo about him, is that he can't get the sack. Also, I would argue you're going to see it. They've got a lot of talented guys that played on that front seven, possibly a reason he wasn't always the guy racking up the high sack numbers. But I got to watch him field level this past year, and he is a monster. Worked really well against Will Campbell. Emory Jones is probably going to be taken as a day 3 selection out of LSU. So 6'5", 267, it's a big dude, and he's very versatile where you can want to play him.
Seattle. I don't know where you go. Is this Dart?
Oh boy, who's their quarterback right now?
The
Drew
one and
Lock?
only Drew Lock. Former Broncos legend Drew Lock.
Listen, this is what I'll say about.
Oh no, Sam Darnold.
Oh, that's right. They did sign Sam Darnold.
That changes things.
The Seahawks have Derek Hall. They don't have anything to worry about.
Could they go
1 hour and 54 minutes, 20 seconds.
I don't think they're going receivers. I don't think they go receiver.
Yeah. Matthew Golden's still there. They also have Cooper Kupp, brought in Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Jackson Smith, and Jigba.
JSN. Yeah. I mean,
Jake Bobo, who really had some really big games
Drew
for them
Bobo.
last year. John Rice Plumlee, don't forget about him at wide
Do they go
receiver.
defense? Do they go defense? I don't-
They don't need a corner, dude. They got Nehemiah Pritchett. They're good.
Hour 55, 10 seconds.
I'm not moved. What is it? What are we? What's happening?
Show
We
the
always
Colin
like
Cowherd.
to document whenever we'll mention someone from Auburn.
Oh,
Yes. So that's why we do that.
Show the Colin
Um,
Cowherd. Hey, LeBron, we're good.
We're good. We're good.
I think they go. I think they
no.
go Will Johnson.
Can I give it? I want to give a little
Yeah,
analysis
yeah.
on a pick that happened about an hour ago. I was thinking more about that Travis Hunter pick.
Yeah.
The speed in that receiving core with Brian Thomas Jr. is stupid. Like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
that's actually I didn't think about that. Like if he's going
Yeah.
to play receiver, the spacing that's going to give them is stupid.
And one thing we failed to mention when they announced him, they did announce him as a cornerback wide receiver. They
Okay.
announced him as both.
Okay.
So
And that last note on that trade, John Gruden, now the NFL, I would say lead, but he's probably the only real NFL analyst for Barstool, said that he thinks Cleveland fleeced Jacksonville for that trade.
I think he did. I think he's right.
So
If
we'll see.
Cleveland knew there was no chance that they were going to take Travis Hunter, then yeah. Like if they were never going to take him,
The only team that I could see that would have taken them before, that would have taken him before them, no. 3 and 4 definitely have real cases to take him. 3 and 4 have very real cases. I mean, the trade makes sense.
It does. It does. Obviously, we won't know who wins that trade for another 3 years, but
Yeah. I mean, we'll look back on it, and you have to really think about it. Is he worth, for instance, I'll use this one as an example, the Herschel Walker trade. Was Herschel Walker worth trading away Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin? Once you put names to the picks, it's different.
what is Matt talking about?
did y'all see Micah Parsons'
my God.
reaction to the Tyler Booker pick?
No.
Matt just got aggressive.
What did Michael Parsons say?
What did Micah say?
Micah Parsons' face, he didn't move. He was just like,
Oh.
The Thanos dude.
all right, here we go.
Oh, it must have been somebody on TV. I missed that.
Okay. Gray Zabel. They go offensive line here. Wow.
Who?
Okay. I want to say this. Gray Zabel, one of the better FCS players in the country, played North Dakota State, did really,
Very
really
good.
well at the Senior Bowl against that competition. But as we know, fellas, we all like to hyper focus in those one-on-one battles that, how much do you really take out of that? It's I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. Gray Zabel, but you know what? That kind of feels like an underrated pick of a guy who just kind of develops and plays well. I don't know.
And look at this dude. He was sitting here playing. Sam will appreciate this. Playing Settlers of Catan, waiting to get drafted.
That's a dog.
That's the kind of guy that Sam wants to build his roster out with.
Heck yeah.
Dev, where are the corners?
Okay, pause.
They don't get on base, so that's why nobody's taking corners.
I'm
They don't
going
get
to
on
say,
base.
I will say this: the need for corner in Seattle is not that high.
It's not.
You have Tariq Woolen, who's a true lockdown, and opposite him you have Josh Jobe, and in the nickel you have Devon Witherspoon. I mean, it's legit. Come on, we'll say it.
I wasn't
Nehemiah
paying
Pritchett.
attention.
I
Nehemiah
was talking about the
Pritchett.
corners. But I mean, I don't think that there was a real need. The more I look at their roster, I think it's fine on defense, really.
Yeah, man. It's. You think he's got a sponsorship from Catan, Settlers of Catan? Like he's got it kind of propped up there on the side.
I hope he does. I really hope he does. I might buy his jersey.
You got to buy the throwback one though, like the blue.
Yeah.
You got to buy the throwback one. Buccaneers on the clock here, fellas. Who do you like here at 19? for Tampa Bay.
Let's take a look at the NFC South champions because the Falcons refused to do anything.
Did they lose? They lost. No, they kept Chris Godwin and Mike Evans.
Could they go Jade Barron here?
No, they got Jamel Dean. They're good.
2 hours, 12 seconds.
They also have Tyke Smith.
I mean, I think they're base 3-4. I want to say, I know when they were really successful under Arians, they ran a lot more zone. I want to say they're still a zone heavy team, and I think Will Johnson probably fits that better.
Jahad Campbell.
Ooh.
Jahad Campbell.
Okay.
I like it.
Although they've got probably the best name in the league, Servassier Dennis, 5th round pick in 2023.
I like that.
They bring in Hassan Reddick. Question is he going to actually play? Because that was a big problem last year. Jahad Campbell seems like pick kind of the same thing I said about the 49ers and Fred Warner. Levante David is getting up there. He's played a long time. He's been really, really good for a long time. Not going to be around forever. Kind of let Jahad Campbell kind of be his understudy for a year, 2 years, however much longer Levante David has. And I think Campbell's a high ceiling guy that could step in and fill that big hole that Levante David will inevitably leave.
They also have Falcons legend, Deion Jones.
LSU legend,
Deion Jones.
Freak athlete.
God, he was so much fun to watch, man.
He was fun.
You can't say that, Will. It's 2025.
Can't say that with what's been going on in the news.
By the way, Gray Zabel was the highest drafted offensive lineman in FCS history. So shout out to him. We'll see.
And he was playing Catan. So let's remember the important things here, guys. Oh God, pick 20. Oh no.
Here you go. How are you feeling here?
You take a running back or receiver.
Breaking news on the college football front, by the way, for Ralph, who I don't know if he's even watching anymore. Troy transfer tight end Brody Dalton has committed to Alabama. There you go.
Hugh Freeze is unserious.
Hugh Freeze is unserious.
2 hours, 3 minutes, and 6 seconds.
Oh gosh.
I like how they show this, and this is no disrespect to the guy who's been doing it for so long. He's made a career out of it. But they show Mel Kiper's like highlights of his draft analysis. They don't show the lowlights.
They are showing the lowlights. They showed Aaron Rodgers.
Who the hell is Mel Kiper anyway?
2 minutes,
also,
Malachi
Starks is going to be he's going to be an Eagle. They're going to take him at 32.
So Denver Gazette columnist Woody Page.
The legend Woody Page.
Legendary Woody Page.
Multiple teams in the league want to trade up to the 20th overall pick, and Denver can get up to 3 picks.
Oh, God.
I think I'm about to lose my mind.
The Buccaneers have selected Emeka Egbuka with the 19th pick. Fellas, I don't know how you're going to guard them. Holy
that
cow.
is oh my. What a pick.
Dude.
What a pick.
How are
We're
you
trading it?
them?
We're trading our pick. Denver's trading our pick. Denver's trading their pick. If we
I think you have to now. With Egbuka going the pick before, which seems crazy.
We can trade back, get decent value, and probably still get Amarion Hampton.
Dude. How do you guard? How do you defend Tampa Bay right now?
the fun.
I
pick.
wanted him so bad. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted Ibuka so bad. Gosh, that makes me upset.
What was I gonna say? I remember what I was gonna say. They show the 2005 draft. How about all the Auburn players that went in the first round? Chris Berman even made the comment during the first round was, I think it was Jason Campbell because I think he was the last player taken from Auburn in that first round. He's like 5 or 6, however many it was. Gavin knows the numbers. He'll tell me. Chris Berman made the comment, "Wow, those guys must have been pretty good, huh?"
Guys,
Dude, you can't show that comment.
first off, I just got to go back to this. Tampa Bay, favorites in the NFC South, and you gave a quarterback who, in my mind, is the perfect point guard quarterback. You gave him another weapon. That defense should be still be pretty good, but you also prolong the lifespan of their contention window by adding this guy because Evan's still really good. Godwin's been banged up the past couple of years. You just add another weapon. He's now Igbuka's the all-time leading receiver in yardage, I think, for Ohio State. I think he leaves Ohio State with that honor. I think that. I might be wrong. Golly. At least Atlanta went and got a defensive guy that can go get Mayfield, I guess. That's the biggest thing. That's a weapon right there. All right, Will, or any final thoughts, and we can kind of take this to Sam now as he chews the fingernails and tries to figure out what's going on.
As much as I hate it, it's such a fun pick. They're going to be so fun to watch. I'm already a big Baker Mayfield
random,
fan,
but it's really good. I feel like
I love watching Baker Mayfield play quarterback. Kind of plays with his hair on fire a lot, but I think he's really good. Like you said, just get the ball, get the hands. He does a great job getting the ball in the hands of his playmakers and letting them do their thing. And that's another playmaker the Bucs just got.
jeez.
I don't. Why would you? Who are you trying to jump here? If you're anyone trading for this number 20 pick,
Yeah, like who are you trying to get? Like who are you worried about on that big board? Gavin, can you pull up a can we get like a live big board and we can put that to the side and kind of watch like who's available? That'd be something I can see if I can find one.
I've got the ESPN big board up right now. Okay.
I did not realize how awesome of an offseason the Broncos had. Evan Ingram.
Yep.
Coming in. Dre
Yep.
Greenlaw coming in. Talanoa
Yep.
Ufanga coming in. Wow.
There are top 2 clear needs. Clear. Tight end, which you addressed. 3 clear needs. Tight end you addressed. Now you have wide receiver and running back. And I'm looking at this. I'm looking at who's left, who's in front of us or behind us. Who needs a running back?
I'll say his name again. Matthew Golden.
I'm not moved. I'm not.
He's better than at least 3 receivers on your roster. I think. I don't know. I don't know ball, so, admittedly. So
I mean, I'll say this: Marvin Mims and Cortland Sutton can hold their own.
Yep, agree.
Devon Vele, he came on in the later half of the season. I would be okay rolling with this. And you also have Troy Franklin there, who is a historic connection with Bo.
That is true.
But by the way, Cortland Sutton will show the shirt off. Cortland Sutton, show the shirt off. Pony up.
Pony up.
Yeah.
Pony up.
I don't know. I mean, I'll ask you this, Sam, about Denver. Do you go for the luxury pick? Do you go for the best player available? I mean, you're the GM. Who are you calling right now?
Oh, I'm calling Omarion Hampton.
Really?
You get the running back. The biggest issue, so Denver has not had a running back rush for over 100 yards in a game since like 2020. been a drought at running back.
Was that what Philip Lindsay? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's-
Yes. Since
Jeez.
Philip Lindsay. Yes.
Wow.
It is time. It is time to go get you a workhorse back and not try and figure it out with the second string guy. We've tried it. We've tried it again and again. And every year I'm like, and I trick myself into believing for 3 seasons, we got to steal. And then he's not. I think you go and get the running back unless you're just confident, 100% sure that you want to get one of the Ohio State kids in the second round.
Marion
If they're
Hampton,
there.
we were talking about him on the show the other night, man. He is a dog. He was on
He
some
is a
bad
dog.
North Carolina teams, but he was a dog. He is so good.
I mean, that North Carolina team this past year wasn't great, and he ranked 3rd in the country in rushing yards after contact. He's 221. He ran a 4.4. 221. You're running 4.4. Oh gosh.
All right. Well, you don't look at Twitter. I'll look. We will let you react to this naturally.
Isaiah Bond here.
Jesus Christ, no.
I know where you live.
Okay.
I know where you.
The pick is in. The pick is in. It's not a Marion Hampton.
Oh, no,
Do you
no,
see it?
no.
Do you see it?
I don't see it yet. I don't see it yet.
This is probably, I'll tease it. This is going to show off a embarrassment of riches, maybe. I think this is what this
They
is.
went Will
Gavin,
Johnson.
Do you see it? Just nod if you see it. Gavin doesn't see it. Okay. They're showing Matthew Golden on the TV.
This is gonna.
Denver also has the second best backup quarterback. Second best. Has the best backup quarterback in the NFL.
Zach Wilson.
Jarrett Stidham. Did you know he's from Texas?
2 hours,
Did
11
you know,
minutes, 56 seconds.
did you know Jarrett Stidham was from Texas?
I still have yet to see the pick.
What am
My
I
YouTube
looking at?
TV is so delayed.
What am I looking
Here we go.
at?
Here we go. Yeah. Same thing, Will.
What was that? I better not. I can't say what I just thought.
It won't. No one.
That boy Sam. Give it up for Sam in the chat. Battling cancer. Okay, I've only seen one report of this pick, so I don't. Maybe it's not official. Here it is. Here it is.
Oh, he doesn't like it.
Why?
He doesn't like it.
You have a clear need. We're gonna run out. Oh my gosh. We're gonna. Who even is our? I'm a fan. I don't even know who our running back is.
Clip
I
it.
don't know who it is.
Broncos fan crashes out.
Quinshawn Judkins. That's your running back.
Jaleel McLaughlin. We're gonna
Hey,
run
you
out
know-
Jaleel McLaughlin.
You know who might be? You know who might be a running back, and you'll love it.
Jarquez.
Dylan Sampson.
Now, there's some good value at running back in rounds 2, 3, and 4.
There is.
Hampton would have been a
Second best
dog,
available.
but you just got the Thorpe Award winner at 20. Do you hate the player or do you just hate the pick? Tell me.
I hate the pick. I hate the pick. I love the player, but at the same time, Patrick Surtain, Riley Moss, Jaquan McMillan.
I mean, no one's going to throw on you. That's for sure.
You're moving one of those two to safety, and he'll play free instead of Brandon Jones.
Boys. The Steelers pick is already in.
Oh,
Apparently.
all right.
Wow. Get
I'll
the
be
free
right
fall.
back.
The free fall continues. Will, the free fall continues. Yeah, Are we good to spoil the picks now? Because now the Falcons have picked, and I'm okay with it. Are y'all good with that? We'll just keep talking about it. You good with that, Gavin? Sources are telling Nick Farbaugh, the Steelers beat reporter for Pennsylvania Live, that Derek Harmon out of Oregon, the defensive tackle, which I'll say this makes sense. Cam Hayward's getting up there. You want to replace what they want up front, and that makes sense. But what did Garrett Chapman tell us earlier, folks? Good news for Falcons fans if Pittsburgh needs and values Kirk Cousins over a guy they can get in the third or fourth round. So that's interesting. If it is indeed Derek Harmon, it makes sense that they wanted to kind of replace what Cam Hayward has been for that team for so long. Trying to look here.
And that was very quick too. Very quick. Pittsburgh.
But you know what that tells me? They knew who they wanted. So all this Shedeur Sanders to Pittsburgh juice wasn't real. By the way, over 400 people watching live. I was told several times ago that not even 50 people watch us live, but they do. And so make sure you make sure you subscribe to the channel, head over to YouTube, join us, talk college football and more stuff as well. I believe that Mort is taking stuff out of a box that he has received. You see right there, Pittsburgh Steelers select Oregon defensive tackle Derek Harmon, number 21 overall. He DoorDashed Chipotle, I guess, to his house. Did he?
I'm jealous.
Hashtag not an ad. Ultima says, I think the Bronco buddy should be glad. First off, no longer Mort. He's Bronco buddy. Should be glad they didn't take a running back in the first round. You can get similar value much later on. We'll see. See how it pays off for him. Sam, I want to bring you in here if you want to. You can eat on stream, but it doesn't matter. As long as you're not just shoving the burrito in your mouth. He's muted. That's okay though.
I'm good.
Okay. Derek Harmon. So you had walked away. I had said Cam Hayward getting up there, it makes sense why they'd want to replace a big-bodied guy up front. But, man, Shedeur Sanders not going to 21. I don't know where he goes in the first round now, to be honest with you.
I don't think he does go.
Holy cow.
I don't think he does. I don't think he did. I don't think he does. Let me find what was said. Let me see if I can find.
I love the title of this stream, by the way. Shedeur Sanders, Jaxson Dart, first round. And we're not even that. I mean, that's not even on the radar at this point.
Here we go. Dang it, mate. Maybe I didn't find it. The NFL scout who came out and said that Shedeur Sanders just was not good. He's off field problems, drama, blah, blah, blah. I think everyone saw it. And I think everyone is about to. And I also think that nobody wants to mess with mess with him because of what's going to come with the family.
It's a lot, man. Derek Harmon. If I'm not mistaken, Harmon and Gavin, you can fact check me on this. Derek Harmon it's just spent 1 year at Oregon. I believe this was a highly coveted transfer last offseason. And I will say this is why kids want to transfer.
He was at Michigan State.
Okay. This is a perfect example of why kids want to transfer. They want to leave. They want to go somewhere else because, look, Harmon was a solid player at Michigan State. He goes to one of the premier programs in college football, ups his stock. His tape is against better competition. And now there's no telling how much more money he just made himself.
Bryce, I thought guys transferred because they could get more money somewhere else.
I mean, Oregon paid him, but he got more money. This is an example of being both clear in your immediate future and your long-term future. And Harmon just secured himself very, very
I thought
nice.
It was all about the money. That's what I've heard. It's all about the money.
Sources do indicate. Sam, what kind of computer you got over there that you're working off of?
I have an NZ. I have a PC. I have a very expensive PC.
Okay. Is this what kind of camera are you rocking with here? Is this just a webcam on it?
Yeah, it's a Logitech.
Oh, it's not like a built-in like.
No. Yeah, so unfortunately, it's not like a laptop where, someone who I know crashes out at MLB The Show and you think, oh, well, there goes that screen. Oh, that guy gave up a bloop single, but I roll over to the second baseman. Stories I hear too often.
Harry has expensive taste. His name's not Harry, but that's fine.
I'm about to change my Discord name 2 times in one night.
Looks like Harry.
Let's do Brian does
Home
this.
Alone.
When's the last time one quarterback was taken in the first round? Ooh. Was it the Kenny Pickett year? Was it Pickett
Yes.
the first quarterback taken?
Yes.
And then there was another one to I think it was Desmond Ritter.
Let's not mention that name.
Let's please God.
All right. We have I have changed my name on the Discord.
Quick little scouting report. Someone says Steelers, or an Oregon reporter says, it feels like it's a perfect fit for Derek Harmon. It's a tough-nosed defensive tackle going to a team who's known for being tough-nosed. Really hard to not see him at least having some success there. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a high floor pick. I think he's going to be fine there. Pittsburgh's identity is up front and what they want to do, and it is. Let's Gavin wants to know, and he wants people to know, what's your go-to Chipotle order? # not an ad.
I've been going with the burrito recently.
Oh, okay.
Double chicken, white rice, black beans, the green salsa, sour cream, cheese, sometimes corn salsa when I feel like it.
Have you tried the new honey Chipotle chicken there?
I'm not.
Very good.
No.
Very, very good.
Now, if you know Sam, you know exactly why he's been going with the burrito lately. I hope Austin's still here. And
Oh, nah. We ain't nah.
I'm a burrito bowl guy. Burrito bowl.
That was
Burrito bowls are
enjoy it,
good.
though.
I'll frequent both. I'm a switch hitter in that sense. I'll hit from both sides.
Chicken
Brian
and steak.
says white rice. That's kind of racist. Brian says he reminds me of Harry from Home Alone. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Hold on, I gotta change my name again. Right now, I'm Harry, the Bronco buddy, in the Discord. The next was Ritter in the third. Yep. So, who do we have next? Oh, the Chargers. Who do you need?
I could see Will Johnson here reuniting with his old head coach.
Yeah, you need a corner.
I don't know what their offensive line situation's like. I mean, God, if you wanted to book in your tackles, you could go Josh Simmons here.
You think Jim Harbaugh's taking an Ohio State player?
That's right. You're right.
I forgot they got Najee Harris.
Oh, yeah, they do that. Garrett Chapman just texted me, by the way, he was on the show earlier. Kirk to Pitt stock is going up now. We were talking about that now for Falcons fans. Like, that's huge because if you can now Pittsburgh, I don't know who's going to play quarterback for them, right? Like, who is their quarterback? Kenny Pickett?
Pickett went to the. He's in Philadelphia.
Let's see.
No. Kenny Pickett's not in Philadelphia anymore. He was there last year, right?
Wait, who? Yeah, wait,
Kenny Pickett's in Cleveland. Kenny Pickett's in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah, he left Philly.
Cleveland. As of now, the Steelers' depth chart at quarterback is Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson.
Oh my God. Yeah. Kirk Cousins sounds like a great option to throw to George Pickens.
Their running back room is even crazier. Jalen Warren, Kenneth Gainwell, Cordero Patterson.
But they've got George Pickens, DK Metcalf, and Scotty Miller.
Roman Wilson.
He knows too much, man. He knows way too much. Okay, Michigan selects Will Johnson. Or I'm sorry, the Chargers select Michigan's Will Johnson.
Makes sense.
Man, the fact that Jonesy knows all this, that just proves the theory. Loose lips sink ships. And I got a good idea who the loose lips are.
Jalen Walker
Yep,
spoke to the Falcons
confirmed.
brass and spoke to Arthur Blank, by the way. He said, what was the message from Blank? And Blank told him they're sending a jet to pick him and his family up. All right, Joe the Pilot says, a friend of mine who works at UGA told me that Jalen Walker works hard in the weight room, making me feel better about the pick. He also said Walker is wanting to add some more weight. Yeah, I mean, I will say this. Sam, you did mention about how they listed Travis Hunter. They listed Walker as an edge rusher. So maybe that's where Atlanta, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see the kind of the next couple of days, those press conferences. What is the kind of the mindset? Jeff Ulbrich, new DC in Atlanta. What does he want to do with him? He likes versatile pieces. I'll be interesting. A Burger said, did Jaxson Dart get drafted yet? No. So
going back to that Jalen Walker, him being listed as an edge, it does bring back the idea that I have of him playing that outside linebacker, opposite
of
and
Leonard Floyd.
Yep, and you keep Anderson and was it Ellis?
Yeah, you know how much speed that is too. Like, God, that is. See, now he's got us excited.
So Green Bay, where are you going if you're Green Bay? Oh, I mean, do they really rub salt in the wound of Aaron Rodgers and go receiver?
Matthew Bolden. I mean, you could go. I don't really know what they need. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really know what their needs are.
So ESPN has their needs listed as cornerback, tackle, wide receiver, edge, defensive tackle. And we could have traded back. And they could have gotten a corner. We could have gotten some picks and also a Marion Hampton. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Gosh, I mean,
Joe does say just scares that the Falcons could have gotten another big Beasley. Well, I mean, that also is the risk at all times. I mean, the draft is a risk.
Everybody talks about Vic Beasley like he was just like the biggest bust of all time.
He was really good for like a year.
He was.
Or two.
He was really good.
He had a couple good years.
Didn't he lead the league in sacks one year?
I think so. The Falcons have had a dismal Marion Hampton to the Chargers.
We're going to have to see him twice a year. We're going to have to see him twice a year. We let this happen. We're going to see him twice a year.
That's a wild pick. Oh, look at that. That poor girl thinks she's moving to Los Angeles. I feel so bad for her.
I'm gonna lose my mind. 2 times a year. We're gonna see him 2 times a year. We're gonna get. He's gonna run against for 1,000 yards on us alone.
He's
because
so good, man.
And we're actually not gonna be able to run the ball because you know who we're toting out for Bo Nix to hand the ball off to? Jaleel McLaughlin. All
right, now.
Do you know who
they just showed a highlight, by the way, of Marion Hampton breaking a tackle from Zeke Biggers?
Do you know who the last person I know with the last name McLaughlin? Sarah McLaughlin. And I'm about to go listen to her when I watch the Broncos play the Chargers 2 times a year, and he rushes for 200 yards against us twice.
He's good, man. He's really good. Really, really good.
I mean, I'm looking at the Chargers roster, their depth chart. I mean, who else would they have taken? I mean, obviously running back, Najee Harris, Hassan Haskins, Kamani Vidal. Troy mentioned. Quarterback, obviously, we're going to take quarterback with Herbert, but behind him, they've got Taylor Heineke and Trey Lance.
I will say this though about that though, Will. This gives Herbert another option to. I mean, your thing with it. This is kind of, but I think Herbert's a really good quarterback. Hasn't been able to get over the hump. Give him as much ammo as possible, and that's what this does.
Jonesy, nice comment. Frank the Tank's
Will,
cousin.
last year we did reference the NBA on the show, by the way. Scottie Pippen Jr. has 21 points, and Memphis is winning by 24 over OKC. Scottie Pippen Jr.
Playoffs.
Playoff basketball, baby.
Third in the AFC West is going to be real fun this year, man. Because we wanted to take a
8 and
fourth
9.
corner. A
8
fourth
and 9.
corner.
Apparently, he projects, by the way, Sam, as a nickel. Barron does. Which I was reading, one of the Broncos writers said that does not do well for, what's his name? Jalil McMillan? Or yeah, whatever his name is. Because I guess, does he play corner or does he play nickel?
He was our nickel. Yep.
And he's not bad.
No, he was good. He was real good.
Wait, Gavin, where's the clip? Read the clip. Ni hao, ni hao.
Will, just so you know, College Football Ultimate Team is releasing a 99 Cam Newton. So pull out the credit card, buddy. You can have Terry and Raheem. I'll take that. I'll take the guy you just drafted. No, I don't want Super Bowl winning GM Terry Fontenot or Raheem. I want a freaking running back. Honestly, I would 100% take the corpse of Jalen Hurd at running back at Tennessee over Jaleel McLaughlin.
I'm going to interrupt you here. Apparently, the Eagles are discussing moving up with the Packers. Eagles might trade up here.
Who do the Eagles need? Howie Roseman, what are you doing?
Malachi Starks, Eamon Worry. That Eamon Worry is a testing freak.
I mean, I guess you address safety. Sidney Brown, you try and go get a strong safety, but I mean, they don't need much. They don't. Do they? Oh. Do you replace Jahan Dotson and you get Matthew Golden?
They must have some pretty good intuition that someone else really likes Bolden, whether it's Minnesota at 24, Houston at 25. I don't know.
I'm looking at this and I see what Houston is going to get a receiver. LA is going to get a receiver. Zay Flowers needs help. The Ravens want a receiver. I mean, the only team of this group that I see not taking, the Bills are taking receiver. We know the Chiefs are going with an offensive lineman. I think that's after the Super Bowl. I think that's clear.
You ready for one of the worst takes I've ever seen? You guys can roast me. Barstool Sports does their live stream. Blutman just said that the Omarion Hampton getting drafted over Travion Henderson is like Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson.
I am not moved.
I think that's one of the worst things I've ever seen.
I think I've heard. How could you say that? What?
One of the more productive backs. I mean, honestly, Omarion Hampton's been the best back in the ACC the past 2 years, at least. I'm trying to go back even the third year, and I'm going to have to go back and look at who was there. But anyways, Green Bay, the pick is in. So they did. Will, we were saying, I don't know if you heard us, they're not. Philadelphia was looking to maybe trade up. Apparently, that is not going to happen. The Packers are going to be picking here. All right, final guess. Who do you think they're going with?
Packers. Oh,
I don't even know who's on the board. Jahad Campbell.
He's
I've
off.
already
know.
got that.
Give me Will Johnson.
Apparently, Will Johnson has a knee injury that people are really concerned about.
Really? Actually, no. JPJ. Why not?
I have no clue what they need. I'm being real
Character
with you.
issues.
Wah.
Low motor. Doesn't finish.
Whoa. All right. Matthew Golden goes number
Well-
23 overall.
And I wonder if that's why the deal fell through.
They wanted him.
If you're Aaron
Well,
Rodgers, you're
They
pushing
brought
the air
in
right now.
Mecole. They brought in Mecole Hardman. Almost seems like the same player.
Dude, none of that matters. It's just confirmed that Arthur Banks Global 6500 has left Atlanta. We got boots on the ground over there from Joe the Pilot heading to go pick up Jalen Walker.
Where did Ralph go?
I think he went to bed.
Oh.
You ready for this, Will? Jalen Walker told the Falcons media this. If you tell me to go get the quarterback, I'm going to go get him. My job is simple. If you tell me to get him, I'm going to go get him. Everybody knows that's what I do best. Let's go.
He's got a dog.
I hope so.
I hope so.
Did y'all see where Shedeur Sanders tweeted, I'm built for whatever today might bring? And someone said, what about tomorrow?
Yep.
Yikes. Wait, sir, are the Vikings saying they're all in on JJ McCarthy?
They drafted him in the top 10. They have to be.
I mean, there's a
The Cardinals drafted Josh Rosen in the top 10. They had to
God,
be.
it was terrible.
Okay, but Josh Rosen played. He didn't tear his ACL in preseason.
Still your number 6 overall pick or number 9 or something like that?
Yeah, but he played. That's to me, that's the big difference.
But it's a top 10 pick. If the Colts were out on Peyton Manning after year 1 when he set the rookie interception record, yeah, they'd look real dumb right now. Just
By the way,
saying.
Pittsburgh,
Well, they still look real dumb because they cut him. So
could Pittsburgh have not selected a quarterback because they know that Aaron Rodgers is coming into town? I don't know.
Can that man just retire?
Please.
All right. So
God, we just make the pick already, dude. Good grief.
I've never seen it go this slow.
because they got the Packers president and CEO out there just riling up the fans. No way these people are taking pictures and video. You can't even see them.
Oh, Matthew Golden's going to be good.
That's the first round pick on a wide receiver since 2002. Javon Walker is who the Packers selected. 23 years have gone by.
This is wild. 18 of the 23 draft picks thus far did not enter the transfer portal. That's crazy.
I wonder if the transfer portal is almost viewed as like a knock against a kid sometimes.
I would
think it
say
certainly
it's a one-one
depends.
transfer. I think you have to look at it through different lenses, I would say, because if you see a kid that like maybe wasn't great out of high school or overlooked and goes to a G5 and then uses it, that would be one thing. And we talked about Derek Harmon earlier. Like Harmon was at Michigan State. That program was kind of goes to Oregon, has a big, year. I don't know. I think, but to your point, if you have a guy like, who's the receiver that was at Texas, then Oregon or whatever, and then didn't pan out and now is going to be on his third school in like a year?
I forget.
The kid right now that everyone's like talking, like an interesting one's going to be Micah Hudson. Freaky good player, when he comes out, is there that's obviously going to be a sit down conversation at the camp. Dev says the number 1 and number 2 over picks for both transfers. Yeah, no, I mean, in fairness, the Travis Hunter thing is very interesting in its own right because he was only a transfer because Dion went to Jackson State. Like he was going to go.
Yeah.
If he'd gone Florida State, he probably would have stayed there all 4 years. Now, number 1, Cam Ward is the exact example we were talking about. So yeah,
Cam Ward was 0 stars coming out of high school.
yeah. The stars don't matter crowd love that one. They love to pigeonhole that into.
They don't matter. Stars don't matter.
They don't matter, dude. You don't need them.
I mean, you know how many 5-star offensive linemen have showed up to Auburn and then played about 4 games and quit?
2 hours, 40 minutes, and 30 seconds.
Oh man. Oh, Tennessee would probably pay Shedeur $5 million to come back to college for 1 more year. That'd be more than
Deion Sanders got Twitter X noted or whatever.
Oh
A
no.
tweet from back in last May where he goes, he will be a top 5 pick. Where your son going? LOL, I got time today. We did a show on this. And then the readers out of context. In fact, Shedeur Sanders was not a top 5 draft pick.
Sheesh. This
You know
man
what?
is still talking.
You know what? He probably still would have been, but probably what did him in was more than one occasion he threw his teammates under the bus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's probably what did it.
That was the
What-
show we got called Racist. Remember that, Will?
Yep.
Y'all remember when he went on Twitch and playing college football? And he said that the offensive line was realistic.
Yep.
Yes.
Donovan Jackson.
That's something.
Wait, what?
Vikings have already made a selection in the time it took for the Packers president to say hello to everyone by name.
Uh-oh. Altima. Tennessee would probably pay Shedeur $5 million to come back to college for 1 more year. That'd be more than second-round money for his first year. Going to break that glass ceiling by going back down. Would you pay Shedeur $5 million to come to Knoxville?
Nope.
Never say that again. Never say that again.
Dad says stars don't matter. I've got light pollution in Atlanta. What is
Sam knows what that is. It's probably best if we don't get into that.
Wait, yeah, we can't get into that.
does that
It
have
might
to
be
do,
the
does that have to do with a loan company?
No.
No,
That's got to do
has
with
has to do with an ESPN personality.
has to do with an uncle.
Oh,
It's got to do with T and B.
Ooh-wee.
All right, I'll hop out.
Oh my gosh.
All right, I'll be right back.
Oh, this might be dangerous just having us two on the show, man.
At this point, dude, we're almost 3 hours into this.
The Houston Texans are now on the clock, and they're going to select Will Johnson.
Yeah,
Probably
how is
not.
he still on the board? How is he still on the board? How is the other Ohio State offensive lineman?
Josh
What's his
Simmons.
name? Yeah, he's still on the board. Shamar Stewart's still on the board. James Pierce Jr. still on the board.
ESPN hasn't updated their big board. It still says Jahad Campbell's is available.
Gotta love the worldwide leader.
I just don't
Donovan
understand. How,
Jackson.
I mean, why are we taking guards? Like, don't get me wrong. Everyone up front is important. But to get a franchise tackle, like, you're going to take a guard?
The Giants are trading back up into the first round per Adam Schefter.
Yep, they sure did. Who did they trade with? Who was 25?
Houston. Houston. This has got to be a quarterback, right?
Is that boy going to New York?
Jaxson Dart to New York. Whoa. Tyler Shuck to New York. Whoa.
This was the Giants have traded pick 34, so this year's second, a 2025 third round pick, and a future third round pick to the Rams for pick 26. Wait, what? Field Yates. I think that. No. There we go. This is right. Mike Garafolo, Texans trade 25 for the Giants in exchange for 34, 99, and a third rounder in 2026. The Giants are now
Wow.
on the clock.
This is definitely a quarterback. There's Gilly. Why is Gilly hanging out with Dion?
Who knows?
Gilly's a Barstool personality. And an Eagles fan.
That's a lot to move up 8 spots. I agree. That is a lot. That is a lot. You're talking.
Oh my.
Love it.
First time we see Jaxson Dart.
Sunshine.
Ooh.
Wow. Most wins by a QB in Ole Miss history of 28. I mean, the numbers keep backing me up. The numbers keep backing me up.
Say it.
We are witnessing the greatest stretch of football in Ole Miss history.
They took Jaxson Dart. Pat Leonard, NFL columnist and Giants beat writer. The Giants are selecting Jaxson Dart per a source. Jordan Schultz just reported it. Holy cow.
Did Dion mean top 5 rounds or top 5 overall?
What'd you say?
Going back to Dion's tweet, talking about Shedeur, was he top 5 overall or just top 5 rounds of the draft?
Why?
There's no way. Ari Mirov just tweeted it too. Holy cow, it's real. Dov Kleinman, it's real.
Fellas, break it down. What? I mean, holy cow.
This is a very interesting pick at 25.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I like it too, but I feel like, I mean, gotta consider how the kid is going to handle New York.
He's going to handle Dable's offense the best, though.
This is true.
Of available quarterbacks, he will handle it the best.
Does Jaxson Dart at 25 look better than... Okay, if I'd told you tonight that Jaxson Dart was going to get selected by the Giants, do the Giants look like geniuses for still getting maybe the guy they originally wanted at 25 rather than at whatever they had, top 5 pick?
Yeah, I mean, winner of the first round for sure.
Abdul Carter. I mean, you get your front seven's loaded. I mean, you talked about it, Sam, and I think it was Ultima who said that's a lot to move up 8 spots. But you get your pass rusher, and then you get your quarterback. You give Malik Neighbors who has Malik Neighbors. Oh, buddy, that's going to be fun. God, that is going to be fun.
Brian Dable has no excuses. None.
I mean,
Probably gave up.
I don't know. That offensive line still isn't very good.
Probably gave up more than
that secondary
Dart
still
was
worth.
Maybe. I would say yes. Initially, if he pans out and he hits his ceiling and they're a contender and they're the Giants again, not the Giants of recent, this was worth every penny.
Oh, wait a minute. I did not realize that they brought in Javon Holland at safety.
Yeah. No, they're.
But as far for Jaxson Dart, I think this is the best situation to go to.
Oh yeah.
you'll have Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston mentoring you, or at least Jameis. I know Jameis will mentor.
fair.
Will mentor you in that room. Now, whether or not Brian Dable and his staff is there next year, you're around professionals that have been in this league for a long time, Super Bowl winning quarterback.
The Falcons are trading back into round 1. I'm sorry. The Falcons have now traded back into the first round. Holy cow.
I'm
with the
gonna have
Rams.
Who are the Falcons taking now?
I'm gonna have to buy James. I'm gonna have to buy a James Pierce Jr. jersey, aren't I?
Bro, if they the Falcons just traded up to 26.
But to finish my point, as
Sorry,
far as
go ahead.
situations for rookie quarterbacks, Dart may have a new offensive staff next year, but I think that negative is really outweighed by being around Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Dart is really good.
A year minimum. Yeah.
Dart is very, very good. And I'm just, the biggest thing, how does he handle the New York media? Just in terms of that, that's got to be the biggest question mark. He's got the talent. And look, you're walking in a situation, like you said, where you have some rebuild aspects to it, but you've got a number 1 receiver in Malik Neighbors. So you've got that target taken care of. I'm going to pull up we talked about this, Sam, when they took Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
You have a defense. So
Yep.
this is really a situation set up very well. So Neighbors, Darius Slayton, and Wandale Robinson. Oh, buddy.
Jalen Hyatt.
I don't know, Sam, I don't know his system, and you spoke to a little bit here. We'll talk about this briefly before we talk Falcons here at 26. But could there be some RPO elements into this? Because that's what he's comfortable with. I mean, is this a match made in heaven, really?
I think this is in my head, I think this is the best fit for this offense up to this point that Dable's had in New York. Granted, I understand he had Danny Dimes and whoever the other quarterback was last year once he got benched. There is no I don't think there's a true great fit. I think Josh Allen is the best fit overall, 100%, but you're not going to find a Josh Allen every day. And I think Jaxson Dart is the kid that you can plug into that system, and he's got the arm, he's got the mentality, he's got the mobility. Like, he's got all the tools. He's got the tools to do it.
I think the Falcons take Malachi Starks or Will Johnson here.
I don't know. Real quick, I want to talk about what Goldfellow said. If Kirk ended up as QB1 in the league, then the Falcons were right to give him that contract, but he didn't, and we weren't. I don't think the Falcons were ever right to give him that contract. Because at the end of the day, you're paying a 36-year-old who just ruptured his Achilles that amount of money to be the guy, and you really only pay that kind of money when you're one piece away. You weren't one piece away. You weren't. And it was pointless to pay a stopgap at the quarterback position that kind of money and then go and draft Penix. Who did they draft?
Per league sources, James Pierce Jr. is an Atlanta Falcon. Sam, what's the scouting report? Why should we be excited about James Pierce Jr. being an Atlanta Falcon?
So James Pierce Jr., he obviously put up ridiculous numbers. He was one of the highest graded run defenders in the nation last year, and he is also an elite pass rusher. His bend explosiveness off the edge is something that is hard to match. He's long. He has a long frame. He's 6'5", and so he can get up there. He's fast. He converts speed to power at a very high level. Not something that you see every day, and definitely not something that an edge. You can't find that edge on the street. Like, you just can't go find Joe on the street and do that. But you can 100% find James Pierce Jr. to be effective in the run game and the pass game, in coverage. he had an interception in college against Iowa. I get it, it's Iowa, but still, asking him to go out and cover Caleb Johnson and then he does it is really something. I think he's really good. I think he's going to be.
Okay, is he this good though? The Falcons just gave up their second round pick this year.
Okay.
Their first round pick next year.
No.
And there's a 7th round pick this year. They get back the 26th pick and then a 3rd round pick this year. This is the definition, Sam, of going all in on this year's roster.
I don't think giving up a first next year is worth that. For a late first round pick this year, I just I'm out on that. I love the pick. I love it. If you could have given up less. You're looking at a B+, A- pick. But instead, you give up that. Nah, you're giving up too much. And especially with next year's draft class. Next year's draft class looks really nice.
But they must love what they have, man. I mean, you think about if this pans out.
Oh, if this pans out, this defense is top. Is in the top.
If
25,
this pans out and you win the NFC, you're picking 20 and above anyways. And what do you really need?
That's fair.
Now, that's a big if.
That's
Massive if. But that's the risk that they just took because you just got 2 guys that can go get the quarterback.
Yeah. My biggest concern is this, and they'll address it, I'm sure, in this draft. And they definitely have the athletes to do it in this draft. You're looking at a receiving core that has question marks. Darnell Mooney is, I think, solidifying himself, getting his footing better in Atlanta than he was in Chicago. Drake London, great. Your slot guy currently is Ray McLeod. And
well, you do get a 3rd round pick. Could you pick up a Tez Johnson there? You know, a guy. Yeah. So it is no man. Darnell Mooney was huge last year. I guess that's got to be the mindset, right? We're going to go in and we're going to get 2 guys that we think we're worth it. And look, maybe they look ahead. Did they think that James Pierce Jr. is better than what could be in the class next year? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it is.
I mean, this was a guy, Sam, that at one point in the summer last year was number 1 pick. A lot of people had him mocked as that.
Yeah. And I thought it was fair. This year, he definitely had a dip in production. I think teams just planned for him better. I mean, you can plan for a speed rusher a little bit easier, and he doesn't have like the deepest bag of moves. But the moves that he does have, he does at a very, very, very high level.
Well, and I'll say this. You said this earlier. Draft grades are completely stupid when they come out tomorrow morning because nobody knows. And so I will say this. Mike Bell, 929, I just quote tweeted it. He goes, the Falcons mortgaged the 26th draft to get James Pierce, and I don't hate it. If there's not a guy that they feel like they can get, if you're where you want to be, okay? If you're where you want to be, then it makes sense. Dev says, I'd rather have Mike Green than JPJ. Goldfellow says, a gamble for sure. Ideally, we are good, so the first round pick isn't a big of a loss. I think that's what they're betting on. And look, they should be. Like they should be a playoff team in 2025. They should be that. If they aren't, then there's more things that are wrong than just having a first round pick. And you'll probably be on a new head coach, I think, if they're not in the playoffs this year.
Mike Green over JPJ, I don't agree with.
His production's crazy, but it's just look, folks, there's a reason why level of competition matters. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And so I don't know, man.
You're talking about 6'5", like, I mean, what, 6'5", 245, and he was moving at sub 4.5 with a 1.56 10-yard split. You're not finding faster off the edge. Have the career of the last Ole Miss QB to play for the Giants.
Ooh, Eli Manning?
No. It's a Hall of Fame career. I mean, sure, we could say he can have it, but like...
Huh? Only because he won 2 Super Bowls.
It's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer. We have guys in the Hall of Fame that threw more interceptions than touchdowns.
Not real.
Now, people saying this is worse than paying Cousins and drafting Penix within a month.
No,
How?
no.
This is
You just made your defense one of the best.
also too. I'm ready to take a risk if I'm a Falcons fan. Did something just happen?
Okay. So our lads, Jalen Walker, left outside linebacker, meaning that this is what this means. So this is before the JPJ pick, meaning that they are saying that Jalen Walker is going to move inside, meaning Troy Anderson will drop, and that your left outside linebacker is now James Pierce,
Yeah.
or you're going to put James Pierce at a D end, at a true D end. They just overhauled the linebacking core in one round.
And here's the thing: if the expectation is to be in the playoffs, he goes, "No, we have Divine Diablo." If you're expecting to play the playoff, then this is brilliant. This is brilliant, man. And that's the cost that comes to playing GM. And Will, I don't know how you feel about this. My take on it is, it's time to be aggressive, man. You got the guy you want at quarterback. You've got is this crazy, top 8 running back in the league in Bijan Robinson?
Top 5.
Top 5, okay. Yeah, top 8, top whatever. You've got a Drake London finally benefited from having a quarterback last year. You talked about Darnell Mooney. Maybe you can pick up another slot receiver. Your defense looks overhauled. Maybe you can pick up a corner or safety later in the draft. This is it. Like, you're going for it in a division that's not – there's no dominant team, right? And I'll tell you this too. Will, what did we just say, guys? If you were a team playing Tampa Bay, you know you got to get after Baker. You have to. And you went and did that.
Also, the GM and head coach probably know the time's ticking because the way last season ended was not good. Arthur Blank has said several times, he acknowledges he doesn't have forever. So he wants to win. Say what you want about Arthur Blank and his ownership of the Falcons. He wants to win. There's no questioning that. He wants to win. So I think that shows the pressure that was on the front office and the coaching staff going into 2025.
So
by the way, for the stars don't matter, James Pierce was a 5-star.
He was. So interesting. I just decided to look this up. Free agents that are still available. James Bradbury, Shaquille Griffin, Kendall Fuller, Stephon Gilmore, Razul Douglas, Asante Samuel Jr., who's pretty good. You got there are guys you can go out and get. There are guys that you can go out and get today. I'm just looking at it. Defensive linemen that are you can go and get it looks pretty decent too. You cut Matt Judon. Thank God y'all got away from him. You get, we go and look at wide receivers. You can go get any of them too.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, Deontay Johnson, Elijah Moore.
Well, Sam, what do we know? There's a premium on guys that can get after the quarterback.
Yeah.
And by the way, Ravens just took Malachi Starks. That feels like the most Baltimore pick ever, by the way. Pairing him with Kyle Hamilton on the back end is going to be nasty.
Gosh.
Nasty.
I'll be interested to see what they do. I feel like we will see Kyle Hamilton in the box more this year with that pick.
Yep.
Yeah.
We are going to see Kyle Hamilton in the box more.
God, that's nasty. But yeah, no, we know, going back to the Falcons pick real quick, Detroit's on the clock. To look at that, you got to pay a premium to go get guys that get after the quarterback. You feel like you can not bargain bin, but if you can get guys on the cheap on their rookie deals, then they can go get the quarterback. You've got them for, what is it, Sam, 4 years with a 5th-year player option?
Yeah, so you get 4 years with a 5th-year player option. Most of the time, you want that deal done, the long-term deal done by year
by
3.
year 3. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you'll know. And here's the thing too. Like, once again, they're expecting to compete. If you got these two guys and they live up to the billing, that's a. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to get ahead of myself. That's a Super Bowl level pass rush with those type of. If they live up to their potential, that's what a Super Bowl contending pass rush looks like. Joe says you also have a quarterback on the. You have. Sam, what would you say here? I would say that when you talk about cornerstone pieces, edge and quarterback is there. You've got both those guys on a rookie deal.
The way you really want to look at it is, the way you can look straight at the Texans. They get the quarterback and they get the edge, and then they were a playoff team. You get Will Anderson, CJ Stroud, you're a playoff team. You go and you get the premium positions and you ride. And quarterback and edge are probably two of the best. Bill Belichick said it best. Sometimes just QB pressure is better than a sack. And having a guy that's constantly applying pressure and that it's in the back of the quarterback's mind, oh, this guy's coming off my blind side. It wears on him. It speeds up the clock and it makes them make mistakes. If Will Johnson does not go to the Lions, I don't know who will take Will Johnson.
What about Eamon Worry from South Carolina? Really athletic safety, test well. I don't know. The back end of this draft, man, is. This is what we talked about. To me, there was great value from picks 30 to 50, and this is where a GM is going to either going to keep his job or lose his job. This is where you have to figure it out.
My big thing with safety is you do have two young safeties with Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch.
Yeah,
and they played really well. I thought they played pretty well last year. I just don't know where you go if you're the Lions. I felt like they were a complete team last year. I really did.
It's a luxury pick, feels like.
I feel like they got bit by the injury bug at the wrong time, and they kind of paid the price for it against the Commanders.
One last thing, this is really good. People are saying they're shocked by the Falcons pick. Terry also told the media, the GM, he said he's a trade-up type of guy. He went publicly on the record and said that. And also, too, this is what we said earlier, he's not the GM for this team. Fontenot's not the GM if they don't make the playoffs. So this is a push for him, his job. That's why he did this.
Yep.
I'll take it. We'll see.
I think, actually, what about getting Aiden Hutchinson a running mate? And you go get Mike Green.
Wow.
I mean, you can go get him a running mate, or you can help him out and get Darius Alexander out of Toledo. Or Shamar Turner. I thought he got picked. Why is he still in the big
Stewart got picked.
You could get Shamar Turner. If you want to go with like someone who's played. If you want to go and find someone who can actually clog the middle, you run a 4.25.
I need one of those monitors. That is incredible.
Now own 2 first-round picks in next year's draft. The Rams are trying to reset their timer.
Tyleik Williams, defensive tackle at Ohio State to the Lions.
I like it. it.
Beef up the front 7. Obviously, it feels like they valued Williams better than one of those edge rushers.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting, Mike Green falling. This Will Johnson fall is insane.
So we know he had the injury, 2 years ago? And now it looks like there's some reports coming out, and we talked about this earlier, that there's some maybe knee injuries, maybe there's some scar tissue, just some lingering type of stuff that, I mean, we all knew, this guy was a top 15 talent, I think, at least. Maybe top 10 if you needed a corner.
I think at the beginning of the draft, if you looked at like best available, he was top 10.
By the way, going back to this, Jeff Ulbrich apparently is telling people that Pierce is exactly who they wanted in a pass rusher: tall, long, explosive, and fast, and he will thrive in that defense. Let's hope so, man. God, I am so ready for the Falcons season. I'm pumped to see this defense go to work. Washington here at 29. Man, what an interesting team.
Washington at 29.
Will,
See-
you're wild, Will.
What?
That Twitter post, that Twitter thing you just sent us. That's crazy. That's
Ah,
crazy.
I feel like the Commanders don't need much,
they don't.
but at the same time, I feel like they do.
Because it almost feels like they overachieved last year, right?
Yeah.
Like they kind of played above themselves.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of new additions. Michael Gallup, Debo Samuel, Laramie Tunzel, Nate Erbig, Foster Sorrell, both on the offensive line. Lawrence Cager at tight end, if you call him a tight end. Javon Kinlaw, Dietrich Wise, Will Harris. Looks like they're going to be starters on defense. Eddie Goldman comes in from Atlanta. Jacob Martin from Chicago. Jonathan Jones, 3 hours 11 minutes. So a lot of new faces coming in. Noah Igbenogany, 3 hours 11 minutes 10 seconds.
I feel like they don't need a lot, but yeah, no, like I feel like they completely overachieved last season. Feel like this is a time to go get like a tackle or something.
Terry Fano just told the media we just got two of the better rushers in the SEC. That's exciting, and it was really a good night for us. Yeah, that's.
It was a great night.
Josh Connerly from Oregon is still on the board.
It was a great
Is Josh Simmons still on the board?
Simmons.
Washington.
Yeah, Josh Simmons.
Yes, Simmons is still on the board. How some of these guys have fallen, I just don't get.
Washington taking their time. I bet they're shopping this pick.
You know what would make my night just 10 times better? Everything would be fixed. We can delete the clip of me crashing out or edit it where I'm happy again. Denver trades up for this pick and we get Travion or Quinshawn. You know, like, it would just make sense. It'd be smart. Why did we get Jahdae Barron? Why did we get Jahdae Barron?
Good player. It's just
like, it's not like I hate the player. I love the player. Just why there when we have so much else? Malachi Starks is going to be so good.
Starks and Cam Hamilton.
It's going to be so good. Oh my gosh. Denver wants a no-fly zone in the secondary. They had it.
Joe says trading back in for a running back is crazy.
It's like
what's Denver's next pick?
Let's see. Teams. Denver. Our next pick. Oh man. 19. No. 19 is our next pick.
Okay.
Yeah, 3. This pick still isn't in. They're shopping it. I mean, do they need a running back? No. They had a 1,000-yard rusher. Personally, I'm drafting Sam.
Sam has got a good get off, I've heard.
Oh my gosh. Oh man.
All right, let's.
Oh.
Could they go Mike Green here?
They got him. Josh
They
Connerly.
want Mike Green.
All right, I'll be right back.
Wait, why does that say Josh Connerly? Our editor messed up. So they did go get Mike Green.
That's what ESPN said.
But the crowded booth is saying Josh Connerly.
Editor's shaking his head. Did ESPN screw the graphic up?
It's time for bed, boys. Go to bed.
Oh, there it is. Josh Connerly.
So they did get Josh Connerly.
He did take Josh Connerly.
Whoa. Will you follow Sanford baseball at all?
Nope.
Joe's asking. Bray, it's time to go to bed, buddy. All right, y'all got school in the morning. Protecting Daniels, I like it. I like it a lot. The issue is that, and this is weird. Like, this is weird for me to say. I feel like they're looking at it. They're like, man, we lost in the playoffs to the Eagles. It's like, yeah, well, no one was blocking that Eagles front. No one. Who are these bums next to my teacher? Y'all are so weird, man. Yeah, very weird. Will, I'm sending this to you. I don't know how to put it on the screen. It's also being sent to Gavin, so our editor can see it.
How do I donate? Editor.
I like Jalen Walker. I think he's really good for the Falcons. I think that you address a need. I want to see. Actually, no. I need to go see if our lads has changed where he's playing. I think he's going to play in the middle. Will.
Who? James Pierce?
No, Jalen Walker.
Oh yeah, Jalen Walker's gonna play in the middle.
Play in the middle. Do not know. Harrison Bridges is not donating to this. I think James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker are both very good.
See, now the Bills are finally on the clock, and the Bills fan isn't here.
Who? Who's a Bills fan?
Ralph.
Oh.
Ralph.
He went to bed. That's a fake.
Hashtag the mayor.
Yeah, I really think Jalen Walker's going to end up playing in the middle.
I agree, especially since I got James Pierce.
Shedeur about to ask somebody for a phone charger.
Bills pick is in. Where do the Bills go?
I don't know. What are the? I want to go look at this. So the Eagles, what is their need? Oh my gosh. This isn't even my show. This doesn't go to me. Okay, Will. So I got curious and I looked up the Eagles' needs. Edge, tight end, wide receiver, guard, defensive tackle. I think they got it wrong. I think ESPN got this one wrong. I think wide receiver is a need for sure. I don't think that.
I would agree.
I think that's their number one. I think they're looking for I think they're looking for a luxury position. I bet they trade. I bet they trade out.
Yes.
And the Steelers trade back into the first round, and Shedeur goes in the first round. Thanks, guy. Now go to bed. Go to bed. All right.
Who are the Bills taking?
What do they need? What do they need? They need a receiver.
They'll get lost. Oh, geez. I shouldn't have said anything.
What? What happened? What? What?
Are you not watching
Watching what?
the draft?
Mine's behind.
Very behind. You'll see.
Yeah. The Bills are
Gavin's shaking his head in the background. You'll see it.
The Bills are still on the clock. Also, how about that Chipotle order? I ordered guac. I ordered guac and chips, and I only got guac, no chips.
Refund.
Oh, it's don't worry. They'll be hearing from me.
Maxwell Hairston from Kentucky. Interesting.
Who?
You know.
Do I?
Had Nico in a blender.
Didn't we beat them? Wait, why am I defending Nico right now? Why am I defending Nico right now? That's a better question. Who is we?
Got him.
Hey, Gavin, ban Charlie. Gavin, ban Charlie for that.
He just got unbanned and he's immediately banned again.
Gavin, ban Charlie for that.
Oh. The Eagles just traded up.
Huh?
The Eagles just traded up to 31. They swapped picks with the Chiefs.
Just busting. Man, I hate being up this early.
What?
I hate being up this early. All right. Dev. We've known. Any ball knowers? Can I ban Gavin? Will we gaming after this?
No, I'm going to sleep.
This guy or Sam Dollar?
Struggling to stay awake right now.
Yeah, because it takes a year and a day for them to announce a pick now.
Maxwell Hairston. I didn't really think he'd be a first round pick.
Once again, who? You have 6'2", 194 staring you right in the face, and you're going to go with Maxwell Hairston. It's just bad, man. It's just bad. This reminds me of when Nakobe Dean fell, and I was telling everyone letting Nakobe Dean fall is bad. It is bad.
All right, fellas, what I miss?
Maxwell Hairston.
To Buffalo?
Will Johnson.
Sam doesn't know who Maxwell Hairston is.
Who?
No, Dev Bryce was here for Malachi starts to the Ravens.
Bryce is here.
Yeah, I saw that one.
The Eagles and Chiefs traded picks, so they just
There you go.
swapped.
Eagles take Jahad Campbell. They're building a monster on defense. Like,
Well,
They know what it takes to win.
I better not say that.
So Josh Simmons is going to go to, will be a Kansas City Chief probably.
Bryce, care to comment?
Logan just popping in to say Cam Ward. That's
Block him. Block him. Block him. Block him.
No,
Block him. Block him.
no shot. No shot. That is.
Hey, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Put a name on it. Mahomes just
I'll be-
tweeted the sunglasses emoji, so I bet you they are going to get that tackle. Was it Simmons from Ohio State?
Mhm.
Yep.
I don't think Sam knows about that joke.
What joke?
Sam don't know about putting a name on it.
No.
All right, real quick, fellas. We're going to do this real quick so we can get out of here. I know Will's about to fall asleep.
Can't hang.
Let's go. Day one NFL draft winners. Sam,
The
who's your
Falcons.
big winner?
The
Falcons?
Falcons. Yeah,
All right.
That might be consensus.
Well, yeah, you overhauled your entire linebacking core, everything. You fixed it. You fixed the middle of the second third of your defense, where everyone has picked you apart, bullied you, pushed you around, and made you look like an idiot for about 5 years. You fixed it today, and you did it by taking some big risks. But I think you get big explosive athletes, and I think you get guys that are going to fly around and make a lot of plays.
I think it is too. Maybe I'm biased. I agree with you. I think you overhauled everything, and if this is a chessboard, you have pieces in the right place. And for Jeff Ulbrich wants to do, and you can sit here and say that look, you didn't need to get the first round. I get it, but if you're picking high in the first round next year to begin with, then that's a problem. So I'll go. I think the Falcons are big winners for this one. Will?
Just to be different, the Giants. I mean, they
Okay.
got better on both sides of the ball tonight, trading back into the first round, getting Jaxson Dart late. I think really good, be able to get him in the 20s, late 20s like they did. And Abdul Carter, who, I thought was, maybe first or second best player in the entire draft. Really good pairing with Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, the Giants trying to get back in the NFC East, trying to keep up with what now division looks loaded. You may have 3 teams that are good enough to make the playoffs now.
The Giants did what the Texans did, just in a not as aggressive of a manner, and I think that it's going to pay off for them, maybe better than it has for the Texans. Especially because I think the Dart Dable relationship is a match made in heaven. I think that it is actually probably going to be a very lethal combo that we're not expecting.
Bryce Underwood's going to cook for the Giants when he's drafted 101 in 2028.
Any comments?
They'll be drafting 25th.
10 to 12 mil speaks a lot. So there's that. By the way, James Gladstone, Jaguars GM, told fans not to panic in his press conference after losing a first next year, and I quote, F them picks. So there's that.
Hey, if you're going to win, you don't need them.
All right, losers. Sam, who's a loser for you in this draft, and why is it your Broncos?
It's probably not my Broncos. Honestly, the Jags. I think they give up too much. I think they gave up way too much and I get it. He plays both ways. You're addressing 2 positions with 1 player. I think you're going to end up having to play him one way. And I think you gave up way too much for a guy who's going to play corner for you, and you could have fixed a lot. You could have addressed it with a better player.
Yeah.
You got the best athlete, but you could have gotten the better football player.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm going to go Cowboys. I don't understand. Look, I don't think Booker's a bad player. I just don't understand. I think it was a reach to go get him there, to be honest. And then I just felt like you could have done something different and moved the needle for your franchise that we know is all in on what they want to do. So I think that the Cowboys, I don't like the Booker pick really at all. So that's my loser. Will?
The Panthers. They already have so many holes to fill, and they go with a wide receiver. I mean, I think on both sides of the ball, you could have gotten a lot better on both sides of the ball. And, you look at what the rest of the NFC South did tonight. I think everybody took a pretty big step in the right direction, except for the Panthers.
Yeah.
I just think there's better options for Carolina at 8 than Tet McMillan. But, Tet McMillan's a great talent. But I think their bigger problem was going to be making sure Bryce Young has time to get him the ball.
Yeah. I'm going to offer another winner going back to it. I think the Eagles might be winners. Jihad Campbell slipping all the way to 31 is crazy. And that they just keep adding guys that just get after it. Like, it's that defense. I don't know. The Eagles are kind of, I like that. So it's interesting. I don't know. I guess we're giving up the Chiefs pick.
Yeah, we don't. I mean,
I could honestly God care less, by the way. Yeah, it's Josh Simmons.
Video quality. Oh my gosh.
It's Josh Simmons. All right. By the way, for those people that feel like the SEC is not the premier conference where guys want to go play, regardless of what they do on the field. It's what they have good results on the field typically. SEC has now tied the all-time record for the most first-round selections in the NFL draft with 15, set by the SEC in 2020. So regardless how you feel about it, that's where people want to go play, where they get the best film and they get to play the best competition. And obviously it's showing up there in the NFL draft. The NFL feels the same way. So, hey, we appreciate everyone. 661 people watching live, a decent people watching live continuously throughout the night. With your watching on X, head over to the YouTube channel. We'll be live again next week, talking some more college football. Sam, enjoyed having you on, brother. We'll have to get you on again and talk some more stuff. And I'm sorry the Broncos didn't go your way, but
hey, it is what it is. We'll get Judkins tomorrow. It's fine. We'll get Judkins tomorrow. It's fine.
You get Judkins tomorrow. There you go. But hey, make sure you subscribe to the channel, follow us on all those podcast platforms, and man, we'll catch you next time. We appreciate you watching. Gavin, I'll hit the button. Don't worry, and we'll see you next time here in the Crowded Booth.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. Coming on. The Crowded Booth with Bryce Koon.